Ben Sims. Wow.
Here's the snap to Blake Gilligan. In punt formation, Gilligan's kick carries toward the near side numbers. And making the catch is Nixon, cutting left, bouncing to the outside at the 20. Makes the turn, 25-30. Left sideline, 35-40. He's to the 50. Taken out of bounds in front of the Cardinals bench. Inside the 45 and the 44-yard line of Arizona. Wow. Play action Love. Looking, winds up, rainbows. Watson there. Touchdown.
Yes. 44 yards and a Lambeau lead to the north end zone stand.
Dobbs now deployed a motion to the right side, snap to Love. Under pressure, Love looks, heaves it down the right side, making it just catching it as down, tiptoes into the end zone. A sensational touchdown. A desperation throw. Jordan Love to his good buddy, Romeo Doubs, and the Packers. 20-yard touchdown pass. Reestablish control of this game. It's 30-13. Weaver in motion to the left side. Murray under center. Play action back with those screens it out left side. Goal from behind. Ball pops loose. Packers say they've got it. Pile up to the 30-yard line. It's Green Bay football. 1st and 10. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right from the shotgun. Murray looks it over, fires left side. Got George in between the numbers of the 30 to the 25. Ball comes loose again. And the Packers say they've got it. Yes, they do. Jair Alexander comes out of the pile with it. A second lost fumble in this 3rd quarter for Arizona. Crowd comes to full throat in Green Bay. Snap to Murray. Give to Benson. Fumble. Loose. Packers got it. Green Bay football. 3rd fumble of the game lost by Arizona.
Looks like Kenny Clark walked away with it.
And he did. Kenny Clark with the fumble recovery. And Arizona is denied at the 20-yard line. And if you need a dagger today, there it is with 5:37 to go.
Wayne Larrabee, we always need a dagger because it's how we cap our victorious Monday montages here on 9 to noon. I'm Billy Schmid, the master mixer of that Monday montage. Armin Sarian inside the iHeart Megaplex studios. And John Coon, dried out and ready to hang out with you on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line after a victorious 34-13 Sunday matinee at Lambeau Field. John, I believe you're dried out. It was able to calm down in the second half there. Early rain, and it poured for the Packers offense as they rout the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, and all good vibes, right? Coming in here today on a Victory Chicken Monday.
No problems, right, John?
We asked for it. We got it. The chicken and a complete football game.
Mm-hmm.
Very well played offense, defense, special teams. Minus one little kick there that we had to deal with. We'll talk.
We're not worried about that little guy
later. But a complete game. Jordan Love seems to have shaken off all the rust that he may have had coming back from that MCL. And, the defense just continues to turn the football over. And with a defense that can do that, create short fields, and a quarterback and an offense that can move the football the way the Packers did in this game, I mean, that's exactly what you're supposed to do on a noon boom at Lambeau Field, playing a dome team from the West Coast. I mean, everything stacked up for the Packers to win that football game like that, and they did it. So do what you're supposed to do and then take a little bit more. That's the motto of these football teams as they go along their season. And here they had a home game against a very beatable team, and they beat them down.
Yeah, and as the game wore on, we talked to Evan Williams after the game on Packers OT, Armin.
That was great, by the way.
Well,
great,
thank you.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Evan Williams was outstanding.
Well, he was awesome.
Yeah, we weren't good.
No, you were
I
fine.
fumbled through like 2 questions. Evan Williams like, hold on one second, buddy. Let me pick this thing up. It was
Look
awesome.
At Armin saying great job on that.
Well, I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant like
it was a nice Troy Aikman by Armin.
You know
just
what
thought
a
it was
great job
awesome.
means by Armin? Like when he says, "Hey, by the way, great job on that." What's the rest of the post game like?
Our post game show was good. It was always good. It was a little longer yesterday.
We got into it. We got some wins.
See, I like it for the listeners when we get that little bonus extra 20 minutes when we hit it over the time. because they get more Billy and Drew. And the thing is that was really good. Evan Williams was great on the air with you guys.
And
funny. Yeah.
Part of what the conversation with Evan was, John, is you just watched the last time Packers fans were at Lambeau Field for a noon boom against, now that was a dome team in the Minnesota Vikings, but 4-0 coming in, or 3-0 coming in at the time, went to 4-0 with the victory. You know, they're up 28-0 and you start scratching and clawing and fighting your way back to the point where if you get one stop, you got a chance to go take the lead. How much was that in the back of the mind? And he mentioned during halftime, it was a big part of the conversation. Now it's easier to have at halftime when the final 2 minutes of the half go the way they did. And the Packers did just give them a quick opportunity to almost seize control of the game and seize some momentum. And then they stopped that mother mo.
Well, it is the National Football League. So every team is going to make a push, right? It might not be runs every game like you saw with the Packers and Vikings, but every team is going to give you a run at some point in time. Even if you get up 24-0 like the Packers were, Cardinals did make a run, and their run, ended 24-10, really. I mean, for all intents, or did they?
Well, 13 right out of the half.
Yeah, because we missed the field goal and then they made a field goal. Okay, so we took their run. We didn't flinch, and we ran back with it and finished that thing 21 points to victor. That's the thing. When momentum switches, everybody asks all the time, what's the biggest difference between college football and the NFL? Well, the number one thing is momentum, right? Momentum in college football, it's so much more severe. The swings are so much more severe. In the NFL, you have professionals that go out there and can, to some extent, mitigate that momentum. And that's what the Packers did yesterday, right? The Vikings, to some extent, not as good an extent, mitigated the momentum that the Packers had. They played that thing out right. You don't see it as often in the NFL, these huge swings and these shifts like that. And the Packers got it, potentially could have been more yesterday, and were able to put their foot down and make that thing stop.
Well, and to be able to stem that tide and respond to some of that adversity. Only other thing that's different, John, because you're exactly right on the momentum swings in college. College commercial breaks are way too damn long. I'll say this. After doing post games for both games.
College football games are too long.
College football games are way too long.
They got to fix that.
We got a 22-minute halftime and 3:15 on the commercial breaks.
Yeah,
let's trim that down.
Wow,
let's trim that down.
It's like twice the NFL half.
It also is longer, and it feels longer when you're at the college football game because they have, as John knows, they get big orange oven mitts is the guy that directs the game on the field at Lambeau Field.
Oh yeah,
he's on the field. Commercial break coming. He starts waving that arm. We're going right back to football. So don't get out of your seat and go get a beer. College football, my man brings the countdown clock on and stands at the 20-yard line, and you just see that thing tick down like
so annoying.
2:41.
Really?
There's
didn't know
still
that.
2 minutes and 26 seconds left in this break.
Listen, college football. The biggest problem with college football, the biggest problem is games take damn near 4 hours. They take almost 4 hours.
Wait a minute. I have not been to a college football game in a long. Well, I guess I did go to one last year.
Stormed the field
Armin,
last
do you
year.
realize that college football now has a 2-minute? They don't call it warning. A 2-minute stoppage.
2-minute timeout.
I knew that they took longer. I thought they were because of the first downs, the clock stops.
Oh, no, they got rid of that.
They got rid
Still
of that.
long. Still long.
Why have I never seen the 2-minute stoppage thing? Is weird too, John.
Yeah.
I did hear it.
Can't call it a warning.
Why,
it is a timeout.
why do they have like a ring card girl on the side doing the like in the middle of
it's
a boxing
hilarious.
match?
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just ticks down, and you just look at it and you go, "You son."
Go faster.
there is a TV clock in every NFL stadium.
I do know
You
that.
just got to find it.
Yeah.
You just got to find it.
Because I know.
Oh yeah, they got them tucked away in different places, usually on the scoreboards, tucked in a wee corner,
Oh, yeah.
so you can find them. So that college just is like, we want to rub it in your face. We're gonna walk all the way out there. Look, you see this? This is how long you have to wait.
I would love
Or
that
this
job.
is how much time you have to get out there, get your drink, and get back.
Yep,
So
go get
out there.
Go get a varsity ale, go to the bathroom, and come
Man.
right back.
That's gotta feel like the loneliest spot. Only different, but I guess similar to the guy that drives around the cart at driving ranges that everyone's trying to peg, in the golf
Oh,
cart.
scooping up the balls.
No, that's
Right.
an awesome
It's like
That's an awesome job.
everyone. It's the same type of job because you're the only one out there. No one likes what you're doing, and I guess no one's throwing stuff at you usually. Though.
So you wouldn't like that job of driving around in the golf cart, scooping up the balls.
I don't mind that. I'd do that.
John, I'm with
protected.
you. I think
Great
that'd be fun.
You're
Yeah.
protected in that cage. Everyone's trying to hit you, like,
You're laughing at these guys
Oh,
just
yeah.
swinging and missing at you
Yeah.
the entire time. 414-799-1973. But in all reality, in a 21-point victory, this is a lot of the celebrations, right? Like spoils go the victors, John.
Yes.
21 points the victors. But if we're going to play coach here today and walk in, because a lot of people on the postgame last night said, I am so happy. I am so happy
Yeah,
coming
good.
back here from the game.
good vibes only.
But if there's one thing, everyone's got one thing in a game like that, and a coach
Well-
has got to find a lot of things to correct.
You know what's crazy is last week I heard so many people, and I don't know where the line came from, which makes me believe the line came from Matt LaFleur or Aaron Rodgers, and everybody just has it.
It's an
ready
Aaron
to-
Rodgers
to
line.
use.
Yep.
It's got to be one or the other. It's either Aaron Rodgers or Matt LaFleur that the greatest games or the games the coach loves the most are the games that you win ugly. I think that's BS, first of all. I don't think a
Okay.
coach. And they always use the excuse because he's got plenty of teaching tape to work with and you still got the win. No, I'm sorry. That's not the coach's favorite game, right? Because then he's got this he needs to work on, and 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 this he needs to work on. No, it's not the coach's favorite game. Coach's favorite game is yesterday. A game like yesterday.
Beating the
A game-
dog out of someone.
A game like yesterday, a game like the Lions had against the Cowboys, right? A game like the Bears had against the Jaguars, a game like the Texans had against the Patriots or the Bucks had against the Saints. A lot of blowouts yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, there were.
A lot of
Had
them.
lot
That
of
was a
Those
great
are the
game.
games the coaches like the most. You know why? Because they get to flip the script. When you win out in LA the way that they did, those guys came back and they knew, they were like, yeah, we got to win. Flying back on that plane, we got to win. Coming in Monday morning, they knew we're going to take some lumps. Jordan Love knew he was going to take a lump for that awful decision to not take the safety. Jaden Reed knew he was going to come in, take a lump with a drop ball, probably get a losing performance. Even though Jaden Reed had that unbelievable catch in that Rams game, I'll bet you he had a losing performance because he dropped the ball on a third down. That's how tough and critical they grade. That's how tough they grade these things.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft, he got a winning performance out there. But
Has
that
to.
game, the players come in and they think, yeah, oh man, we won. It's going to be good. It's not going to be bad. We didn't lose, but we are going to take some lumps today. Today, the Packers are going to come in and their coaches are going to fine-tooth comb this thing and find every little detail, morsel that you did wrong. Every little tiny thing. Even though you got 15 yards on the play as an offense, you didn't step with the first step the right way. Your aiming point was not good.
We've been teaching this stuff for how long?
Yeah, you didn't
That's the good
cloud
one.
it. You didn't cloud adjust, right? They're going to say these
This is
things to
gonna
these
get you
players.
beat.
So I believe these games are the best because you get to flip the script. You get to knock the players down a peg on their totem pole. They're feeling high on their horse right now after winning by 21 points. You get to knock them down on their totem pole and then build them back up by teaching the details of the game, not these massive, ridiculous mistakes, but the details of the game. So I ask you guys, man, let's play
I like
coach
that.
for a day.
Okay, I
Let's do
like
it. Let's
that.
play coach for a day. Let's get nitpicky on yesterday. When you have a 21-point victory, you soundly defeated the team. But there's got to be a couple things out there that give you error for caution.
Yeah, like Matt and Wausau, I'm a little disappointed and a little concerned that Xavier McKinney didn't get an interception.
Damn it! Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
That's a
Come
bummer.
on.
I was hoping for that so bad, 6 in a row. I was going to go nuts. I was going
That
to go
would've been-
crazy.
now that's one of those, like, you can't really be mad at the guy if you.
I
play
asked Evan
position.
Williams if he's going to get taxed, John, if that's going to be a fine in the safety room.
I
Or
think
if
you do. I think
you might
just
have to.
for fun.
For
I mean,
fun.
because he's collected so many, little probably sample gifts or game balls already.
And
this year
big
with all of
checks.
his interceptions.
That's fair.
Yeah, we're going to need to fine you for not keeping that streak alive. That was a pretty cool streak.
That's
Yeah,
an
I like
amazing
that one.
It's almost as good as the Undertaker streak of WrestleMania. And 414-799-1973, and our streak of Victory Chicken Mondays now is at 2.
I love that. Let's keep the streak going. Okay, teaching points. That's what we're doing today. I mean, I thought it was good vibes only. All right, that's fine. We can do this. No, but I'm usually like the good cop, bad cop.
Oh, so
kinda
you
coach.
just want to sit here and get fat and happy
Fat and
after
happy.
a 21-point
Hey,
victory.
I want to be the good
Grab
cop,
an
bad cop.
8-piece, get some mashed potatoes and coleslaw, and chill out. And
Well, my
Enjoy.
role is to keep everyone's head up, in the coaching room. And everyone else can get on guys in the film room. My goal is like, hey, good job, guys. Hang in there. We're doing a good job. Yeah. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, John. Yeah, take one.
But seriously, Armin, there's nothing from the game.
No,
that
there
you would
is.
nitpick.
Well, I will. Still
I think
say,
I know what it is. I think I know what it is.
Broadcast.
Yeah, it's
Well,
Narveson.
Well, Narvison's an easy. That's low hanging fruit. And when I talk about low
Oh,
hanging
so
fruit,
you're gonna
No.
okay?
That's
So
the
you're
raspberry
gonna
bush.
let Narv Dog go, and you're gonna go for something more detailed. What's your detail?
Everyone
What's your
else,
detail?
I can't take Narv Dog because everyone else is taking him. I mean, obviously, kicker's the problem here.
I also don't know that it's the
Obviously.
kicker. I think it's that damn left hash. The left hash is the issue. We can make kicks from
Yeah.
everywhere else on the football
Get the
field.
left hash.
The left
out of
hash,
here.
John,
if
is
it
the problem.
And if it is the left hash, which always finishes right, like that's weird. The left hash always finishes right. But if it is the left hash that always finishes right, why don't we think about this on third down and
Thank
try
you.
to throw
Yes.
a ball to the right hash one time,
Well,
one damn
because-
time?
Well, it would be, but see, that's the thing. You can't change your way you run an offense based on what your kicker needs.
Well, you can play golf to correct your swing.
Yeah, I know, but that's
to
different.
try to overcompensate just a little bit. Just help us out. A
All
little
right,
bit.
first thing we need to do. I know we're gonna get into a serious discussion about it, but I'm being 100% honest.
Yes.
First thing we need to do to fix to Braden Narvis. I won't say Chris. Sorry, Chris. You're out there somewhere eating up innings.
Chris Everett.
Braden Narvison. First thing we do to fix him is give him a proper kicker number. If we're not taking it serious, then why should he kick serious? We're not giving him a proper kicker number. You can't take an NFL kicker serious when we're at number 44.
Kid kicked in 39 on the other team yesterday.
That's not serious either, and he's going to have his problems too until we get him a proper kicker number. And I have a bigger problem with these
So
numbers.
what's the proper kicker number?
1 through 19. Everybody knows that.
That's it.
Oh, come on.
No, yes.
Come on,
This is the National
Grandpa.
Football League. Give him a real kicker number and get everybody positional numbers again. I'm tired
Oh,
of
so you
seeing a
so
guy
you're
in number
nitpicking.
4.
So
and-
you're
come on.
nitpicking, and we're
Yes,
trying to do a
yes.
simple exercise here. And your nitpicking is on the NFL for allowing players to go positionless numbers.
I'm disappointed.
Well, actually, first of all, the first thing is, do we even have a number available for Narvison? We might not.
Yeah, we got a lot of retired ones.
We can't.
You got a linebacker
You're
wearing
not-
7.
You're not touching Canadeo. Paul Horning's not retired, but no one's going to wear number 5. Sorry, it ain't going to happen. So quit asking.
You can put him in 2. That guy's not coming
15,
back.
12, out. All right.
Malik Willis already there.
I'm just trying to think what numbers are available. You know, yeah. I mean,
Maybe
Malik's
you can
got
find
that.
something. I think you're overcorrecting this. We'll let you
Well,
we'll
we
let you
gotta
sit on this
correct
and find your
something.
small ones.
We got to correct something.
Because I think there's a lot of them in 414-799-1973 as we play coach this morning, and find something to correct in a 21-point victory. John, there's a lot of them coming, and a lot of them centered on that defense, and I think that's going to be a common thread in our corrections here today on a Victory Chicken Monday. You can celebrate with chicken. We also still got to be getting better at 4-2. Don't want to just be peaking in week 6. Green Bay Packers, how do we get better? How do we correct this? Because a really damn good football team coming in who just went 5-1 yesterday with a blowout victory coming to Lambeau Field 1 week from yesterday. 414-799-1973. Come on, coach. You're on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Armchair coaches out there, your corrections for a Packers victory. Let's play it right here. That's John Kuhn. I'm Billy Schmidt. Armin Sarian's here as well. He's going to get one that's not Chris Narvison getting out of the 39 and Braden Narvison getting out of the 44.
All right, I got other ones. Don't worry.
Is it not him going and wearing a number 5? Can't wear 5.
We're not putting anyone number 5. I'm sorry. It's just
I don't
not
know. It's
happening.
not on the facade, though, for a reason.
You're right. It's not. We can't retire. We're too good of a franchise. We can't retire every number.
I kind of like this. Brad in the 414. Reserve specific numbers league wide for kicker, punter, and long snapper.
Long snapper, yes. Yes. It's got to be in the 60s. We
It should
can't
be
have any,
60 exactly.
no glamorous. No, what's the least glamorous numbers? In the 60s and the 40s? No?
First of all, I've talked with Matt Orzik
47.
about this, about how he got such a dope number for a long snapper. He looks awesome in 42.
That is a good one.
I've talked to he's pretty happy about it as well. He
Yeah.
said it was just given to him at his last team, and the Packers asked if he wanted to keep it, and he said absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Make me look like a safety running down there. It makes him look a lot faster. That's a part of it. Probably 47 would be one of those uglier numbers, Armin, if you're wondering. Something that's a little clunky.
Unless
difficult.
you're a fast linebacker. It's only clunky for like a fullback or a running back. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know. Andrew Beck looked pretty good in the 47 there yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Elevated
Yeah, he did.
from the practice squad for the Green Bay Packers. 414-799-1973. We're on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line with all of you. He's John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian. It's 9 to noon on the game.
They be like, there you go. You don't want no problem with me.
Here's the punt by Gillikin. High kick. Reed makes the catch to the 20. Cutting left. Penalty marker down. Reed collared at the 20. Gets by a defender. Circle route back to the right. Fumble the football, and it is covered up by the Cardinals. Arizona football inside the 25 of Green Bay, pending the outcome of the flag, which was early on the play. Alex Kent.
There were fouls by both teams during the return. Holding receiving team number 24. Personal foul, horse collar tackle, kicking team number 20. By rule, those penalties offset at the previous spot. The replay's worked out.
Arizona had to punt it one more time. Keyshawn Nixon took it almost 40 yards inside Arizona territory. One play later, Christian Watson was in the end zone, and it was 24-0 Packers. It's 9 to noon on the game. As the Packers blow out the Cards yesterday, got to find some corrections. Got to find something to get better at. Got to find something to nitpick. And, John, I found one. And luckily, it's a course correction in there yesterday. John Kuhn, I do think I might be done watching Jayden Reed on punt returns because my man is way too valuable on offense. You got to be having that guy on the field. I think I'm ready for President Nixon to get back there returning punts and keeping Jayden Reed ready for offense.
Okay, so that's interesting. You're going to nitpick. You don't want Jayden Reed back here because you don't want him to get injured.
I don't want him getting hurt.
But Keyshawn Nixon's okay to get injured.
I'm okay if he gets hurt.
He's our starting outside. He's our starting cornerback right now. He's our number two cornerback right now.
On the
he's
outside.
Our number 2, Armin. Did you realize that?
Yes, I did. Well,
no, he's our number 2.
Yeah,
he's above Eric Stokes.
He's definitely above
Carrington
Stokes
Valentin.
and Carrington. But who's more replaceable right now? I don't know. I think it's definitely Nixon because Jayden Reed is such an important part of this offense. And
didn't you see Bo Melton run that little sweep yesterday? Didn't you see him run the sweep yesterday?
I love Bo Melton.
Nice little 10-yard run, bing, bang, boom.
I love what he can do. I don't know that he can do what Jayden does. He gets the ball so much. He gets open that first touchdown. I mean, he was the mismatch. I don't know, guys. I kind of agree with Billy on this one. However, I'm not sure. Like, Keyshawn Nixon makes me more nervous with the ball than Jayden does.
Keyshawn Nixon, I think, is also, John, more apt to hurt someone else than get hurt. So that's one of the reasons why I like him with the football in his hand.
My personal opinion is Jayden Reed is back there because Jayden Reed protects the football better. I think that's
sure.
Generally, I actually agree with you.
Jayden Reed can be explosive. Jayden Reed can return the ball well. Jayden Reed has vision and can break one, but Jayden Reed protects the football better than Keyshawn does. And I believe that's why he is back there. He will catch the football better than Keyshawn does. And people don't understand that catching the punt is not all created equal. Like, catch it the right way. Even if you catch it, I want you to catch it. If you don't catch the punt the right way, Rich is pissed. And you'll get a minus for
which
that.
K9 never catches it the right way. Not never. Rare.
No, he's
sometimes
not never. He's 50% of the time catching it the right way. 50% of the time, elbows tucked, hands in front of your face, boom, and watching the ball all the way down. 50% of the time he does it right. The other 50% of the time it's all over the place. So I can believe that's why Jayden Reed is in there specifically. Randall Cobb would even go back and catch punts in recent years to make sure and ensure that thing was brought in. I don't care. I don't worry. I don't play worried about injuries, especially on punt return. I watch too many dynamic players do it for too long, right? Antonio Brown did it for years. Tyreek Hill did it for years. Tyreek Hill still goes back and does it
very rarely. Yeah,
I know, very rarely. Yeah. But he still goes back and does it every now and then. So if a risk is a risk is a risk. I mean,
I also think that it's good to manufacture a couple of touches for Keyshawn Nixon, right? Because like he's not getting any in the kickoff game. Now, maybe the Packers try to institute a little something that Coach Mike did yesterday, which is straight out of Madden, the fake reverse, because they've had this reverse in Madden. And John, it never works. It never allows you to actually pitch the ball in Madden. And in real life, my man said, you know what? I think I'm going to crease this thing. And almost it was the biggest play for Dallas all day yesterday. It was the only good play they had.
It was a 79-yard return, I think, for the Cowboys.
Set up a field goal.
And here, I think, well, first of all, let's just address the kickoffs. It's not working. It's actually more boring than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And it's mostly because they're not running down the field anymore. I mean, college is doing actual kickoffs. High school is doing actual kickoffs. NFL's not. I'm going to stop. I'm not. I got to adapt or die. That's the rule I always live by, Armin. You know that. Adapt or die. I'm adapting this is the new kickoff, but they got to move the kickers back.
Mhm.
They have to move the kickers back and then change where the touchback goes to. Move the kickers back to the 25, Billy, and change the touchback to the 20.
Yeah.
That's going to make teams bring it out, and it's going to keep kickers from booming it into the second row of the stands. Okay, I said what I had to say about the kickoff. Roger Goodell came out this week, and I don't know if you guys saw, and came out this weekend in an interview. I think it was at Jacksonville, maybe the morning Jacksonville game.
Yeah, for the London game.
Yeah, it might have been over there, and said the kickoff is working. We have proof that it's working. You know, analytics and Q rating says that it's working, but there will be some tweaks in the offseason. They have to move the kicker.
Yeah, they
back.
will.
They have
Yeah,
to.
they
What kind of proof?
Yep.
What kind of proof? Q rating that people are watching. Of course
Whatever
they're
the hell
watching.
he wants
Yeah.
to do, he makes it
I
up.
know,
Listen,
I know.
there's no doubt Roger Goodell makes up the stats he wants to make up so he can
Sure.
finagle the game in ways that only he and the owners like.
It's just funny to hear that.
32
Absolutely.
people in this world like it, and it's the owners and Roger Goodell. And I'm not even sure all the owners like it.
Do
But
they like it? I'm not even sure they like it.
Enough of them do. 25 of them probably do. 24 passes the vote.
I think they want to support the decision that the
But-
status quo is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I do believe that they want the play to be a part of it because it's an exciting play. It absolutely is. But when you are trying to be able to add in more action, the easiest thing is force them to kick the ball in the middle here. All right, so let's get some more action because there's a lot of it on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 414-799-1973. Nitpick, find a couple. Pilot Mike, if I had to pick. Number one,
this is funny. If I had to pick,
I had to pick.
and then he picked 7.
He's got plenty here. Protecting Jordan Love, bringing more pressure on defense, and obviously Narveson. It's hard to believe, but who would have thought replacing Rodgers was going to be easier than replacing our kicker, Mason Crosby? Pilot Mike in lacrosse.
We heard that joke 3 months ago, though.
And it doesn't even
sorry.
apply. It doesn't even apply. Anders Carlson had a better 1-year average than Mason.
That's true, or at least similar, but especially in the rookie year. Mason didn't hit 80% for his first 4 years of field goals, and Anders was 81. That's true, John. That doesn't really apply. Now, the counter argument to that is the extra points. So that's a good one. Reliability inside of 45 or 50. And do you buy this, that just the level of kicking in general around the league has gone up. So industry standard has to be better.
Anders
like
it's all about inflation, Armin. It's all about
Right.
inflation. The
Wages.
kicker
Fair, yeah.
position has been
Wages.
inflated in the National Football League, and you are expecting to get 58 and 59-yard dividends on your return, right? And that's just not, I mean,
Right, but if
to
you-
be able to say 32 teams have that right now is not, it's not realistic.
Well-
But there's so many guys that are doing it with frequency. When you talk about the Buckers of the world, the Aubreys of the world, the Tuckers of the world, and Tucker's even
he's
struggling a
missed,
little bit this year.
some. Greg
Well,
Joseph missed 240s
point
last
is
night.
simply
Yeah, he
this:
did.
Anders Carlson has the greatest career field goal percentage in Packers history.
True, for a full season. If for guys that have kicked for a full season. That's true.
So we have replaced it. We have replaced
Wasn't good enough for us.
that idea and that notion. But I agree, it wasn't good enough for us because there is inflation at the kicker position in the NFL. So we're searching, and we invested in a separate side. We invested internationally with Brandon Narveson. He's not international.
I get your point.
making a joke.
The joke.
and that investment is not paying off right away the way that we thought it was going to pay off. I'm going to ask you this, Armin,
Yes.
because Narv Dog is your pick, even though you picked Narv Dog's
Well,
number.
kicking in general.
Narv Dog is your pick. I want to ask you, are you cool with Matt LaFleur and his patience and saying, I have confidence in him?
I'm cool. Actually, I am cool with it because
You have confidence in him?
you got to give a guy. I'm
Real
not,
quick, do you
oh.
have confidence in him? Okay,
oh,
so wait.
no, I don't have confidence in
So wait, you don't have confidence in him.
Do
So
you?
you agree with Matt LaFleur to have confidence in him?
Everybody would have nobody would have a full confidence right now in our kicker. When they go up there, everyone's
Hold on
got in their hands in the
If Larry and Wayne
they're
listen
holding
to
their
the broadcast, Armin,
I
and I know
listen to
you
it.
do, when Wayne and Larry are sitting there before the kick, Billy, and they're going,
bang it through.
all right, fella, just bang it through.
Larry's
You
going
can hear
through.
him
It's a
just cheering for him.
33-yard field goal.
There he
Come
goes,
on,
bang
fella,
it through.
Just
Come
bang
on.
it through. Just bang it through. And it's right down the boulevard.
But-
That's when you know that, hey, we got something. And it's not just talk about that. I'm glad Matt has the confidence
he can't go up
because
there
the
and
rest of us watching, I can't say the same.
No, we don't. But as a head coach, my point was, as a head coach, I believe that he's got to stick with it. You can't go up there and just say, I'm nervous every time. We're going to panic and we're going to flail and we're going to pick up a different guy. No, he's got to go up there and say, no, I've got confidence in my guy. I see him in practice.
Okay, now
He's
we're
gonna
grading a
do it.
press conference because I personally would grade a press conference better if he walked up there and he goes, listen, am I nervous? I think everybody around here just wants him to make the kick. We just want him to make the kick.
We
We
all
got to
do.
figure out a way to make the kick, and we're not making enough kicks. And when he has a field goal percentage lower than Giannis's career free throw percentage,
gonna be
we
a
all
tough
know
time.
that's a problem out
Yeah.
there. So we are going to work diligently to fix this problem for Narveson. He's missed them all to the right. A lot of them have been on the left hash. So we have to continue to work on this problem. I'd rather hear that because he's not saying
No
he's
chance.
not nervous.
No, I don't want my coach to give that much detail. I want my coach to give me a 10-second answer. Hey, that's our guy. Come on.
We're
We're
fine.
proud of him. We're
Quit
proud of
asking.
him. We'll
Oh,
figure it
okay.
out after. Yeah,
Okay,
we
good.
need that.
So
We
you
need
guys like
that
this.
media training, John. We can't be letting that much. We can't let that much be out here into a microphone.
In reality,
We got to lock that up, coach.
In reality, I think we do need to see him for longer to see him settle in and sample size and get more kicks to see what his true percentage is going to be. I don't think it's going to be sub 70. I really don't. I think he's going to
How
make
many kicks does he need for you, Armin?
I mean, it's still early.
Is it like in that bats thing?
You're
where,
back and forth. You're like, I'm worried, but he needs more kicks so I can know what he's doing.
both
I
can be
like what
true.
Matt says, but no, I don't trust him.
I feel all those statements can be true. Of course, I'm nervous right now. It's a tenuous situation when he goes up and kicks. We know that. But that being said, if he settles in and gets a streak going, Anders was great the first 6 games last year. Anders had a streak when he wasn't missing, and then he started to miss kicks.
Can I tell you, I knew he was going to miss that. What was it, his 4th kick or his 3rd kick yesterday?
I think it was his third. Well, it depends if you count the extra points or not.
No, it was his 2nd kick. He missed his 2nd field goal attempt yesterday. And I knew he was going to miss it because his 4th touchdown or his 3rd touchdown kick. Did you guys see it? Did you see the 3rd touchdown extra point? Did you see that?
I don't remember it offhand.
I
no,
think
John.
it was kind of low and floppy, right?
It was a bad snap. The hold got there, but the kick, I mean, barely went through.
Yeah.
Barely went through it. It looked like a high schooler kicked it. And I had a feeling, and I even said to Taylor up top, I said, I don't have faith in this field goal. He's like, why? I said, did you see the operation on the last one? There's no doubt. They came over after that operation, and Rich started getting into him about and if you were ever going to miss a field goal, your next one's going to be the one because now the snappers think about it, the holders thinking about
and
it,
the kickers
and the
you're
kickers.
thinking.
Absolutely.
They're all 3 thinking about it. And guess what? The snap was a little bit high. Hold was spectacular.
Oh,
So that
and
was a little bit
there was also adverse conditions during that time yesterday. I mean, it was wet, rainy, muddy, a little bit, right?
Yeah, but, you
don't
still gotta
we
be a little
live
bad.
in Wisconsin, Armin?
Yes. I mean, we do. Well,
I just want
I'm
to know
just
if
making
you're
that
worried
point.
about one thing. You're worried about one thing, but you make every excuse for that one thing.
well, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I mean, it's a Victory Monday, and yes, it's a problem, but I'm trying to find ways it can be better, you know?
And
'Cause I don't
let's
think
be
that-
honest here.
We're not cutting
There's
them.
none.
We're not cutting them this week, right? And there's what else you going to do, right, Billy?
I mean, we can. That was a nice exercise. I don't think it was all that productive because I don't think we found one shred of way that we're going to actually fix how he's kicking the ball. So it's like it's a difficult beast, and that you think that's got to be a Rich Bisaccia conversation.
Oh, it's got to be.
However, maybe it is more of a Brian Gutekunst conversation.
Can I ask, what does he have to do? Let's just say, well, first of all, this next game is an enormous game. Enormous game. Could come down to a field goal at the end. There's no way you feel comfortable with a field goal of 40 yards or longer at the end of this football game.
If he
40
misses,
yards.
if he
I'm
misses
saying
one a
40
game,
yards.
yeah, they won't tolerate it eventually if he misses one a game, right?
So
Won't
does
do
that
it.
creep into Matt LaFleur's head if it's a close game coming up this weekend and it's close and you're about a 44-yard field goal and you got a 4th and 3? Do you
Great
go for it,
question.
or do you kick it? That's my point.
Yeah.
It changes the way that you coach even.
How do you think you would?
I think he'd go for it. In a game like
Yeah.
this coming up week, big game, tough game, one-score game, and you got yourself a mid-40s kick, yeah, there's a decent chance he's going to go for it if it's 4th and 3 or less.
Yeah, and I'd prefer to go for it than leave it up to a kicker anyway. Like I'm more inclined at this particular point in
What if you had
2024
Tucker?
football. Tucker for
Well,
4
depends.
weeks, John, was the worst kicker,
Other than
50
this
plus.
year's
Like I'm
Tucker.
really
If
okay
you-
with
if-
it.
But if okay, so if
I
you
want
have
my offense on
Butker,
the field.
Aubrey.
I want my offense on the
No,
field.
it depends on
No.
score time, a lot of things. If I'm down 2 with 15 seconds, yeah, I'm kicking the ball. Obviously, you get my point. It depends on a lot of things, game situation. So I'm kicking
What
the
if you're
ball.
down 2 with a minute and a half?
I'm kicking. I need the lead, and that's my best chance to get it. That's just me.
I don't
And
know.
if he can't perform,
I'm
at
with
least I-
Armin. I'm with
but
Armin.
at least
Billy's
I know.
aggressive. I can tell.
Yeah.
I got to know as soon as possible, though, if he can't make those kicks, right? Because then we're going to make a change for the playoffs and things going forward. Right? I don't know.
Well, then how?
I get what you're saying, but
Okay. 414-799-1973.
He needs to step on his
That
scale,
was
and he
the
won't step
question
on
for the last 9 minutes.
He won't step on either side. He won't do it. He's got to
There's
put
no
on
way.
his
414-799-1973. Let me do my job. We got to get to a break here now. All right. We tried to answer the question for the last 9 minutes. We didn't. So now we're going to take a timeout and we're going to be back on the other side. Match Diamonds here in 15 minutes on 9 to noon on the Game.
Him or me. We can cruise the world with
Daniel Whelan. Here's the snap, the placement, and the kick. From out to the uprights, it is off to the right. No good. He pushed it wide right. So the Packers fail to cash in on the Cardinal turnover.
A lot of turnovers yesterday. Just unable to cash that one in. That is Wayne and Larry on your home for Green Bay Packers football. 97-3 the game yesterday when Braden Narvison missed. Oh, thought you were going to hit it again.
Sorry, no.
When Braden Narvison missed a 44-yard field goal wearing
let's
the
try
number
this.
44.
We got to get this right. We got to get it right. Let's do it again. Billy back to the top. Armin and action.
No good.
That was the feeling right when Braden Narvison missed that 44-yard field goal.
No good.
There it is. There it is.
I mean, skip a beat, but yeah, we're
Skip
right
a beat.
there.
Yeah.
I actually have a
Close, yep.
different. I have another
Let
one.
me hear that one.
That was more of a happy.
35-40. Sideline, 35-40. He's to the 50.
This is
Some really interesting bodily noises coming from our guy, Larry McCarron. You know what that is, though, John? That's somebody that loves football.
That's right.
Oh,
When
yeah.
somebody that just loves football just reacts naturally, that's what people are saying Tom Brady's totally doing, right? Tom Brady's totally natural when he goes to, At least rocks are manly, right? At least his are, sounds like us on the couch. Couple of Miller High Lifes in after
sounds
Braden
like-
Narvison misses that one.
It's totally
waking
authentic.
up from a Sunday fun day or something.
No good. He pushed.
There it is. There it is. All right.
Well, yeah, the happy, the sad, and yeah, Brady. Yeah, totally sounds totally authentic.
Totally
that's what he
authentic.
normally
I
does.
got to say, watch yesterday's game, Cowboys Lions. As soon as I got home, watched probably end of the second quarter and second half. Didn't do a whole lot of ooh-ee-ahs. Didn't do a whole lot of vowels.
Okay. Okay.
I think somebody did a little self-correction.
Did he do
Either
it?
that or they just mute his mic. until they
See,
feel
now,
like he
John,
got
that you could do, right? In the truck, you can help your boy out a little bit, right? If he is a little green, you can also just turn his mic off and then turn it back on when he's about to talk. Was there an ooh and ah during the Aiden Hutchinson situation from Tom Brady? Man, that was a gruesome one yesterday.
Brutal.
Lions have announced he underwent successful surgery last night, tibia and fibula required last
By
night in
about
Texas.
that time, I was carving some pumpkins, so I didn't I
good one.
saw it. I'm
Yes.
watching, and Lily actually goes, "Is he injured?" I said, "Yeah, hun. Pretty sure he's injured.
man.
Pretty sure he's hurt.
He's injured pretty good."
Let's
too."
and that's just that was.
She was like, "With his leg." Yeah,
Yeah,
hun,
that leg is
with his
not
leg.
good.
I mean, kids are the best. They
They
ask
are.
the most simple questions. Did he hurt his leg? The thing's bent into a question mark. It
Why?
turned into a question. The leg turned into a question mark, and the dot was even below it. Like stuff was falling out of the side of the leg. And she was,
Jeez.
"Is he hurt?" Yeah.
Why is
hun.
his leg doing that?
Was it his leg? I think so.
Looks like his
I
leg.
think the one in the cast is, I think that was
You
it.
know, and let's hear it for he said underwent successful surgery because you get in there and these guys are, you're a doctor. You're looking at this like I don't
I'm
know.
not.
I don't know where to start here. Okay. Like with the way that leg was bent, I don't know where to start on that thing. Like that was not a simple fracture.
That's a deal. Yeah, that was a deal for Aiden Hutchinson last night.
Hopefully he comes back and he's the player he always was one day. That's what I'm hoping for because he had a very promising career going and that's just brutal.
Man,
to see.
7.5 sacks already
Oh,
this year.
he was
having a defensive player of the year kind of year. That's a tough one. That is a tough one to be able to go through. But luckily, there's no injuries like that for the Green Bay Packers to report. We're playing coach and we're finding a lot of things to nitpick on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. People are handing out a ton of them. Now, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how we're going to figure out this kicking situation to pretty much no avail. Does our guy Matt Schneidman have an answer to the kicking situation? He just might, or he won't.
I can't wait to get back to this though, because there's a lot of good nitpicky coaches on here, and we got a lot of good stuff to break down still from this game.
So much good stuff. Try to get to all of it here, and let's just make some kicks so we can get to this stuff earlier. Let's just make some kicks so we don't have to spend 25 minutes figuring out. So why don't the Packers hire a kicking coach that has kicked footballs before and he could coach him there? Rich Bisaccia is the highest paid special teams coach in football. You know what the special teams coach is doing other than the 5 periods where they're running special teams, John? Can you tell me this? Is he working with the kickers and holders and punters?
I think so.
Thank you.
I think he is.
That is his job. They got one. They got the most expensive one in football. So once we get the dividends being paid out, It's all going to be really, really good in this neighborhood.
By the way, thinking about it, do you know why kickers now make 55-yarders in their sleep?
Why is that?
Because so much more is invested into practice. It used to be that kickers just went to the side and kicked by themselves and nobody really paid attention. Now they are videotaped. You know, the finest little details are videotaped.
TrackMan?
Watch these videotapes.
Probably.
Basically TrackMan.
Mhm.
They're basically in a simulator getting their swing path and everything. It's wild. It's wild.
Do they have
So then we should
AI?
be able to correct this. We should be able to move
We're
this
working on it.
a
We're
little
working on
over
it.
from
Now,
the
it's
left
still a
hash.
human thing, so it's not a robot swinging his leg. But yeah,
I just
we
want
should be
that
able to fix it.
AI checking out the video like we did in baseball, you know?
I just want to know, Armin, this weekend against the Texans, who would you feel more comfortable on the line with the kick? Narvison or Anders Carlson?
I think we'll think about that during the break before we get to match.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a
you're
big
going to
league.
take the time to think.
Think
Wow,
we'll
that's a
think about
big
that.
league tease by you right there.
Rare
All
does
right.
Armin think before
Okay.
he talks.
Wow.
Okay, this is great.
Hey, that's called maturity, John. That's called growing. That's what we're trying to do.
Let's
Matt
go.
Schneidman will bring some maturity to the conversation in hour 2 right after this on 9 to noon on the game.
Ready, the voice inside. Billboard, baby, do it. Billboard, baby, do a leap and make them dance when they come on. Everybody looking for a dance floor to run on.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride.
Hour 2 at 9 to noon, brought to you by Happy Place Hemp and HappyPlaceHemp.com. Everybody relax with promo code Billy, 25% off every single time at HappyPlaceHemp.com. Whether it's Delta 8, Delta 9 gummies, which are very, very fun and recreational for the weekend, or your CBN, CBD gummies for the work week and enjoy, as well as some of their tinctures and balms, all their products and pet products as well. Helpful for your pooch. CBD, very helpful for them as well. Learn more at happyplacehemp.com or stop in, visit Rob and Chris in Muskego. Say Billy Schmidt sent you. They'll take care of you, answer all the questions you need, and get you that discount using promo code Billy at Happy Place Hemp and happyplacehemp.com. 414-799-1973 is the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Playing coach this morning. Your corrections in a 21-point victory. A lot of times you're nitpicking, and that's exactly what we're asking you to do on the talking text line. Get to more of those coming up. But right now, Matt Schneidman joins us here on the YouTube and X video stream, hanging out after a Packers victory on a Victory Chicken Monday. Matt, there's a lot of things we can talk about, a lot of things to point out, but we're asking people for their little things that you'd like to correct, little nitpicking issues in a 21-point victory. What would a couple of those be for you after that 34-13 win yesterday at Lambeau?
Interesting question. I was not expecting that. Maybe find a kicker who can make kicks.
That was the first 30 minutes, yeah.
Not that little.
Bam!
That's not that little of a fix, but listen, I don't like to go from 1 week saying, all right, give Braden Arvison another chance to turn it around, and then the next week he misses one kick, and then it's all right, he's gone. But it's just a gut feeling I have, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, that this guy is going to cost them a way more important game sometime down the line if they hold on to him. And who knows, maybe it's the reverse Anders Carlson, who didn't miss a kick until week 7 last year. Maybe it's he's getting all his misses out of the way now, then he's going to be perfect if they hold on to him.
Like that spin zone,
but
man.
He's missed 5 field goals this year. No other kicker in the NFL has missed more than 3, I believe. Greg Joseph missed 2 last night, so maybe.
Yeah, I think he's Greg Joseph's 8 for 11.
Okay, so yeah, no kicker has missed more than 3 field goals, and Arvison has missed 5. He's missed all of them wide right or off the right, upright. You got to get rid of him. I think this is the first time I've said you got to cut him, and you just can't have this guy any longer. We're going to hear from Bisaccia on Thursday and LaFleur today about how they're happy he responded with a make from 41 yards. You can't trust the guy. You can't hope that he turns it around. You got to get rid of him.
This is my fear. We are talking about 40-yard field goals. 40, right? In a league,
he hasn't even attempted a kick 50 yards.
In a league where teams confidently roll out kickers from 50 to 55,
right,
and kind of, unabashedly roll them out from 55 to 63. I mean, depending on the setting, this is what teams are doing around the league, and we do not feel comfortable 40 to 50. I just think with a team that is this talented, that has the opportunity to put itself in some really good situations, you have to have that one guy who can do that one job, at least in the moderate level, at least 40 to 50. You feel super confident send him out. If you're not confident at 50 plus, okay, the other teams might have an edge on you from 50 to 55. But if you're not confident from 40 to 50, you have to make a move, and you have to do it now, because as we know, you're not always guaranteed tomorrow. Like, we feel really good about this Packers team because of how young they were last year and how young they are right now. And we might get one more year on this nice little window of youth and energy that we have. But at some point, you have to capitalize while it's hot. And I think I'm agreeing with you, Matt. Like, the time is now. The time is really now. And Armin, to your point, who you going to get?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple kickers out there. Why do we have to name one? Why can't we name several? Right?
Well, we could name as many as you want.
You give us names.
Let a McManus come in here and do his business.
That's the
right?
name everyone's throwing around, right?
The Lions have been bouncing around a couple kickers this year when their regular kicker gets healthy. I don't know if it did yet. I haven't been keeping super tight tabs on that. The Packers just tried out the kicker who kicked here for the Cardinals just 2 weeks ago, right, Matt? We just tried that kicker out.
Yep.
And now he's kicking for the Cardinals while Prater's getting healthy. When Prater's healthy, does he bounce to a practice squad? Do we make a move there? Because we just looked at him. There are other kickers out there. And I say this. I say rather than this be an 18-week trial for Narveson to make you confident, why isn't this maybe an 18-week trial for multiple guys to get you confident by the playoffs?
Yeah, again, Brian Gutekunst said this preseason that he's probably not as patient with patient. Jesus, I just combined patient and specialist in the same word. Patient with specialists as he should be. This is a time where it's not even being impatient if you get rid of him, because he's shown you enough to show that he's not the guy. Now, could he go on to do better things elsewhere? Sure, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. They can say as much as they want. They like what they see behind the scenes. They like his approach. They like what he does in practice. Doesn't matter if he can't make kicks in games.
I think it's interesting that one of the big issues for Anders when Anders was let go was, well, the field goal percentage is one thing, was okay, but it wasn't great. But it was the extra points. He had missed far too many. Wasn't consistent enough. That's one thing Braden's actually been good at. He hasn't missed an extra point yet this year. So it's kind of the irony there. Now, he has missed 5, but he's also taken the second most in the NFL, tied for second most. So that's something to consider. I don't think it's a good enough. Obviously, you got to be able to make. I think the point you made, John, is true about the 50
especially
yarders.
when you start talking about sample sizes. Is sample size high enough? Well, he has the second most in the NFL.
Good point.
Is the sample size high enough?
It's a fair point, and I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to give him another week. I don't know what's going to happen. I just think if there was an obvious.
There is an obvious guy. You're keeping the international pathway player on your practice squad for a kicker. For what other reason than to at some point give him a chance, right? Or is that just hanging out?
No, I don't think the IPP player is to play. I mean, they kept Kenneth on their team for a year, and that wasn't, oh, you're keeping him to play. It's to develop him because you might see something there deep down, but that's not a guy that you're like, okay, he's a guy that we're going to play if anything goes wrong. It's let's make this guy a 1 to 2 year project, and it's a worst case scenario. And maybe the Packers are in the worst case scenario. But if they thought Alex Hale was any good, he would have kicked for them by now.
Wow. Well, then, I mean, that shows that they really then either think Braden Narveson's really good or every other option is horrible, or they're worried about the other parts of the football game than just kicking, which is an interesting way to go about it when, the rest of the football team is playing as well as it is right now. On defense, Matt, being able to, in the second half of the game, close that thing out with a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick in Evan Williams and 2 second-round picks out there in Edgerrin Cooper and Javon Bullard on the defensive side. Man, I knew they were young last year. They were going to be younger this year. But right now, the youth in that secondary and on the defensive side, some of their most dynamic players.
Yeah, and LaFleur has lauded those guys for being able to pick up stuff really quickly. And Evan Williams keeps making plays. I mean, that forced fumble he had, just to pinpoint that, I talked to him after the game with a couple others, and he mentioned how Greg Dortch, the guy who he punched the ball out on after that 16-yard gain, he implied that teammates who had tackled Dortch earlier in the game had told him that he's a little loosey-goosey with the ball when he's carrying it. So Evan Williams took that, and then he said, when guys are falling down, and Dortch was falling down because Jair had hit him low, so he was kind of going down toward the ground, they kind of get further away from their body with the ball. So it's just really good in the moment instincts, intelligence to, make that play. And then you got to actually execute it. So he punches the ball out, textbook, Jair pounces on it. There's a reason, Brian Gutekunst and his staff are pretty good at what they do. And it's stuff like this, Edgerrin Cooper, even though Javon Bullard hasn't had those takeaway plays this year, there's a reason they're putting him on the field. They trust him. They want to get him near the ball. And Evan Williams, again, just making a case for getting more playing time with what he did yesterday.
And he had a great tackle on that 4th and 1, too. So.
I think there's something to be said about guys that just make plays. They might not be drafted as high. They might not be as fast. They might not stand as physically, daunting as a specimen, but there are guys that just make plays. And the one that really seems to come to mind every time you say Evan Williams, and it could be the same number, is Micah Hyde. He just continually made plays and made plays and made plays and made plays. He's just a playmaker. And there are guys that just have that innate ability to play the game and have little, I want to call them secrets, but they're more like just feels. You just feel out the game. It's the reason why Dennis Rodman was such a good rebounder, because he knew exactly where to put his backside against an opponent so that he could go up and get the rebound. That's what Evan Williams has. He has just the feel of the field, everything, his spatial awareness with players that are around him. He knows where he can get to. He knows he can take the punch on that play because the guy's going down, because it's not like he looks at it, assess the play, and says, well, this guy's falling down. This is a perfect chance to take a punch. He has that feel. It's a reaction. It's not even a thought that goes through his mind, and he just punches. If he had to tackle, if nobody else was around, he'd just tackle. He's an absolute ball player. But I think another one that they have right now is Edgerrin Cooper. The more and more he plays, the more and more he makes plays. And Matt, I'm just inside linebacker. This thing's getting funny right now, but I'll tell you one guy I want on the field every single play. It's Edgerrin Cooper.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched the film yet since I've been busy writing all my stories. I'll have to take a look back, but he seems like a guy that you definitely want to get on the field. John, I want to ask you this because I'm still confused about what this means, despite coaches explaining it. And I've read back all the transcripts, and it still just seems so simple. What does playing with vision mean on defense? You would think every defense wants to play with vision. Matt LaFleur keeps talking about how they're playing with more vision this year. That's why they're getting all these interceptions.
Yep.
Why is that different this year?
Okay, so playing with vision is being able to play either a matchup man or a zone so that you can see your receiver, but also see the quarterback at the same time. Like a lot of teams, when they go man, they go two man. A guy just looks and stares at his guy and chases his guy down, because guess what? If you have direct eye contact on your target, you're going to follow it a lot closer. But if you're playing a quarterback like a Kyler Murray or a Jalen Hurts or an Anthony Richardson, and you're playing with the man and then the quarterback with vision, if that quarterback moves, you're quicker to respond and react to that quarterback moving. If you're not, if you're a quarterback that can't really move, you can see the quarterback and where he's going with his arms at the same time. So it's vision, but it's peripheral vision at the same time, because you got to be able to see multiple things. You got to see your receiver, you got to see your zone, and you got to see the quarterback, and they all have to be in your sight line. So you might have to turn your body like about 75 degrees one way when you're playing a certain technique, not playing straight 180 up and down. Very technical stuff there. I hope I didn't bore you, but that's what.
No, that makes sense. So basically, and I'm asking you this because I'm writing a story about it for tomorrow, and I just don't get it.
Crowdsourcing live. I love this.
I think it's important for not just my own purposes, but everybody's, because this is a team that has 17 takeaways already this year. They had 18 all last year. This is the most takeaways the Packers have had in the first 6 games since 2002. The most any team in the NFL has had. This is ESPN Stats and Info. I want to make sure I give proper credit. Since 2018 when the Bears. So you can play with vision in man and zone. It's just in man, you're on your man and the quarterback, and in zone, you're on your zone and the quarterback.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder in man. It's a lot harder in man, but you can do it. But it's much harder, and it's why you see a lot of teams, a lot of these quarterbacks that can move. Patrick Mahomes, number one. He sees you're in man, he's sending all the receivers one way and he's running the other. It just happens all the time, and that's why he scrambles so much. It's all and these quarterbacks, they learn those little nuances, those little tricks where, hey, it's a 3rd and 3. I see they're in man. All right, I'm getting all the receivers to the left side. I'm going to put trips on the left. I'm going to have a wide receiver on the right. I'm going to motion him out. I'm going to send him on a fade. And then I'm running to the right side where there is nobody defending anybody. That's how these guys get these things. All right, Matt, can I ask you, watching yesterday's game, what these Packers are achieving is something ridiculous. I mean, most rushes yards since early 2000s. You just said a stat from the early 2000s about turnovers. What they are actually racking up in production is pretty astounding right now. It's pretty impressive. Jordan Love, first time since 95, a quarterback has thrown for 4 touchdowns in consecutive home games. I mean, this team sitting at 4-2. Do we know how good this Packer team is?
I don't think so yet, because they look really good right now. And I'm not a huge fan of, they haven't beaten anybody, because you got to beat who's in front of you. That's like a big conversation going on with the Bears right now, since the Bears have beaten like the Rams, the Titans, the Panthers, and the Jaguars. The Bears are 4-2, and they're looking good doing it. You could also say the same thing for the Packers. They've beaten the Colts, the Titans, and then the last 2 weeks they've beaten the Rams, and yesterday they beat the Cardinals. None of those teams are above 500 either.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this coming week against the Texans is going to be a good like litmus test for how good the Packers really are at this point in the season. That can obviously change. At this point last year, 6 games in, the Packers were 2-4. We thought I was literally writing stories about which quarterback they were going to draft in the top 5 if they got a top 5 pick. Since Jordan Love didn't look good, they were going to be up there for Caleb Williams or Drake May or Jaden Daniels.
Giving up on a quarterback in 6 games? They're definitely giving up on the kicker.
Well, my point is the narrative can just change so easily. So could the Packers lose their next 3 games and we could be thinking, what is going wrong? Sure, they're not going to, since they're not going to lose to the Jaguars, but like the first third of the season is what we're through right now. They're a very good team right now. They've handled who they've had to handle. They had a terrible first half against the Vikings, but showed that they can contend with a team you could argue is the best team in the NFL right now. So still plenty of football left to play. Right now, I think the Packers are an above average team. Probably not in the elite, but right below that.
Okay, who's elite in the NFC?
The Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions.
You don't think we can play with the Vikings? We just lost by 2 to them playing
I
the
didn't
worst
say you
first
couldn't
half
play
ever.
with them. I said I think the Packers are a slight step below those 2
Yeah,
teams
like if we're
right
doing
now.
like power rankings, yeah. But the thing in this NFC, this middle upper class is so jumbled up. There's so many teams that I think, we always talk about the thin margins. It's very true, especially in this
I don't know,
division.
man. I don't know. I'm looking at this NFC right now, and I'm telling you, I got Lions, and that's the only team I'm going to put it. Like honestly, right now, today in the NFC, that's the only team in the NFC that I'm going to put as I consider one tier above the Packers right now. Just right now, week 6. Commanders. I got the Packers right there with the Commanders.
Right.
Vikings. Even though the Vikings got the best record, I got the Packers right there with the Vikings. I saw them go toe to toe. I saw them
Vikings
win a
play the
second
Lions this weekend.
I know. We'll get to see that one. I got the Lions a tick above. I got the Vikings right there with the Packers, the Falcons, the Bucks, the 49ers. I got a really big second tier, but that top tier in the NFC, there's only one team there for me right now, and that's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and we don't know what they're going to look like without Aiden now, so it'll be very interesting. They'll be good, obviously. I'm not saying that.
Who's the best quarterback in the division?
That's a great question.
It's Jordan Love. It is. It's got to be Jordan Love. It's Jordan Love.
But he hasn't played the best.
I think long term, the best quarterback is Jordan Love. Has he played the best this season? No.
Yeah, it's been Goff.
He hasn't played his best this year,
Right.
but he's up there with other quarterbacks. Isn't he second in the league in touchdowns right now?
He's tied in second right now, and he probably, if he played all of his games, he'd probably be leading the league. He's he's throwing some interceptions and he's throwing a lot of touchdowns, so he's kind of doing both. I mean, I think he's very dynamic, but Goff's probably played the best football. I mean, Darnold could make his own case, right?
No, I don't think Darnold's in
No?
that conversation, but I do believe the way that Jared Goff has played deserves a lot more credit, and he's starting. Maybe at some point he'll start getting some more credit for what he did with his previous team, but we don't give him any credit for that. Like they don't give a whole lot of credit to Matt LaFleur for what he did with his previous quarterback, as much as he probably should.
Yeah, I didn't realize Goff was his touchdown interception ratio isn't astounding or anything, but he is 266 yards a game, and he has a 105 quarterback rating. He has been putting it out there and a 71% completion percentage.
Very good.
So he has been very efficient.
Caleb Williams also playing well.
He's getting better. Yeah.
Only 8 and 4 touchdown to interception ratio there for Jared.
Listen, this is the best division in football. It goes without saying. This is one of the best
Easily.
divisions in the last 30 years. I mean, really, is what this division is shaping up to. I think it's 17-5 right now. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
That's insane.
They have to stop
I also
playing
want
each
to
other.
say, like,
yeah,
we don't know about Caleb yet. So when I say Jordan Love is the best quarterback long term, Caleb could be. It's just too early to tell. So I think it's a toss up between Love and Williams right now. But I think Schefter tweeted out, this is the first division since realignment in 2002 that has all 4 teams with 4 wins through 6 weeks.
it's wild. It's
Wow.
wild. And yes, we haven't played head-to-head a lot yet, but it's obviously we're beating everybody up. And it's going to be – it's like the 94 playoffs. If you look at the 94 NFC playoffs, 4 teams from this division
Yeah,
we're
just
in.
look at them.
It's like I'm just saying, it used to be the Central, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
so 4 out of 5, but all 4 teams, NFC wildcard weekend was Packers, Lions, and Vikings versus Bears that week. So
Tampa was the one that didn't make it.
Tampa didn't make it. And they,
Sucks,
and,
Tampa.
and they were on their way in 4 or 5 years of being pretty good. So it's wild how that works. But
It is wild how teams go bad, get good, get bad, get good. This
It
team,
is
right?
weird.
I mean, yes, okay.
Except for
fine.
the Packers, who have been good for like 40 years.
They're
now.
consistent.
Been
They're
good for a
consistent.
while. Been good for a while. How good is this Houston Texan team that we're going to be watching coming in to Lambeau Field next week, Matt?
Very good. You know, they've kind of been a little inconsistent. You know, let it get interesting against the Patriots yesterday and then blew away. Nico Collins not being healthy is going to be a huge absence against better teams, not the Patriots. We'll see if it affects them against the Packers. They still have Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs, but CJ Stroud is another one of those guys where you could say long term, he's the next guy in this league. And they got a defense that flies around with DeMeco Ryans as their head coach. So that's why I say it's going to be a litmus test game. The Packers are 3-point favorites, which is a little surprising.
Yeah, well, I think that's just the standard operating procedure for 2 teams that are very close together, and one's the home team. Here's a question for you, and this might be an interesting one. Trey McBride yesterday kind of had his way a little bit, the tight end there for the Cardinals. I'm curious, Dalton Schultz, also pretty capable tight end coming in here with the Houston Texans. Did that concern you at all, seeing Trey McBride kind of have his way? What was his final stat line, Armin?
Oh, I don't know exactly off the top of my
Trey
head.
McBride finished with 8 catches on 8 targets for 96 and a long of 27.
He was catching everything they were throwing out. Like, can we please cover this guy? I tweeted it. And you called it before the game, John. He's coming back now, second week back. Watch out for Trey McBride. Last year was his favorite target. So
I also think, you know, and I wasn't paying attention to McBride specifically, but one of my good buddies has him on his fantasy team and was complaining early in the game that he wasn't catching anything. I would lean toward that being more a case of, you know, they shut him down early. And then when the Packers backed off to, you know, keep everything in front, when they had a 3-score lead, that's when he was getting some of his opportunities. I mean, Kyler never really bombed the ball downfield. He was just checking it down, throwing everything underneath. So that's probably why you're seeing, I'd have to watch the film.
That's the vision thing.
But
that's the vision. That's the vision thing. You're asking about it. That's the vision thing. They're not biting the cheese. They're staying back. They're keeping everything in front. They're having vision on the entire play.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to bite some chicken.
I asked Evan Williams about that yesterday, and he attributed kind of that, keeping everything in front, you know, playing with that vision, to why the Packers the last 4 weeks have allowed 7, 3, 6, and 3 points in the second half. Because he said teams get frustrated looking for that explosive play. Huh?
I want to do that one of the first halves and feel really, really good at it.
Well, the way I phrased the question to Evan was like, is there something about this defense that wears teams down as the game goes on? And he said basically, you know, we're patient. We keep stuff in front. We don't allow the explosive plays, and teams get frustrated looking for those explosive plays. And as the game goes on, they get more and more frustrated that they're not getting that explosive play. And it just, you know, wears them down. So
sounds
that
like
kind of
Joe
reminds
Barry.
me of Joe Barry.
Sounds like Joe Barry. I was just gonna say keep everything.
But Jeff
in front.
Hadley's
But
defense-
this is different.
know
This
it
is
is. I know.
because we were giving it to him before.
Right.
Now it's because they literally can't go for the big plays because we have safeties that will take it from them. It's all the safeties being able to let this defense play with that vision.
Yeah, and they lost Maserati, Maserati Marv
You're
early.
trying so hard with that, but you got to actually be able to execute it
gotta
for it to work.
I got to.
Matt, hell of a night in New York tonight, sports-wise. Now, Jets fans lean more Mets, lean more Yankees. What's that divided household?
Jets fans
gonna be
lean more
like?
Mets, definitely.
Jets,
It's Yankees,
Jets or
Giants,
Mets
then
for
Mets,
sure.
Jets.
Giants or Yankees.
Okay.
Jets,
So they'll-
Mets, Nets, Devils, right?
no one cheers for the Nets.
Well, I'm just saying.
Nobody cares about the Nets.
Well, I'm just making a point. That's how it used to usually go. I thought.
But I don't
Yankees
think
or
anybody's
Rangers
saying
fans.
Yeah, and Giants.
that. Isn't everybody a Rangers fan, or are people
And
actually
Knicks.
cheering for the Islanders?
I don't really know.
Well,
I never
no,
thought
Mets
about
are
it.
Islanders.
But
No,
it'll
hang
be
on, Nassau
interesting.
County.
Islanders.
It's a hang out in Nassau County. That's
Amon Green is going to get to watch me watch the first inning of the Yankees game 1 of the ALCS live on my show, since the Yankees start at 6:30, and My show goes till 7.
Are they gonna
obviously.
put, like,
live from Potawatomi Sportsbook tonight?
cameras on you watching it? That's what they
Yeah.
do when there's a Marquette game on, and everyone wants to watch me react to that. You know, I know how that feels.
Who do we got on that jersey right there, Matt? Is that just a clean pinstripe
That's a
or
judge.
Just a 22, Juan Soto. No name on the back though.
Ooh, look
The
at
nice
you.
thing about
Okay,
Yankees
okay.
jerseys
They
is it can
re-signing
be
him?
anybody, you know.
Oh yeah, that was real confident. Okay, I like that. All right, Matt. We're excited for you and Amon Green tonight. 6:00. Green and Gold Legends series continues at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Fantastic work.
Are
coming
you
out
the
of there.
gold?
John.
Are you the gold?
John, you know this. Is it Amon Green or Amon Green? The emphasis on the first half of his name or the second half?
I just called him AG this whole time. The whole time I just called him AG, but I'd say Amon. That's the way I'd emphasize.
See,
it.
Doug Russell swore it was Amon, so the emphasis on the first half.
I would
of it.
ask him.
Or
I
just
can't-
call
that
him
can't be a
AG.
question.
Just call
hey,
him
I'm
AG.
meeting you for the first time. How do you pronounce your name? You got to do research beforehand. That's why I'm asking John Kuhn live on this show.
No,
and even he doesn't know.
I disagree. I would ask him, hey man, I really appreciate it. I'm really excited for doing this. I can't be bleeping this up all show. Amon
that
or
just
Amon?
makes it look
You
like
could
I'm
go on there,
unprepared, though.
honestly, if you
Or
take
like
a
a
little
natural
slice of
person.
humble pie and not worry about being
Yeah.
like this perfect person.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
Just say, hey, do you like being called Amon, or AG?
Yeah, I
Hate to
don't-
tell you, Matt,
Couldn't
that's
say
not
AG.
the first time he's heard that question. Definitely won't be
Right,
the last.
but-
yeah.
That's just my.
All right, Matt, have a good one here coming up tonight. We will be
All right,
listening.
thanks, guys.
That is Matt Schneidman of The Athletic and theathletic.com joining us here on the show, as well as on YouTube and on X. We got to take a quick timeout. We're back with more of your coaching points for the Packers with Kuhn, Billy, and Armin, 9 to noon on the game.
You can see my heartbeat.
John Kuhn here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just customize anything in life? Like Joe in the 262 would customize a Yankees loss today just to ruin Matt Schneidman's world. And I probably would too. Well, guess what? You can do that and customize your windows and doors with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The durability of materials, latches, shades, thousands and thousands and thousands of times just ensure that they last for your years to come. Other unique offerings include fold-away hardware, custom colors, and ease of maintenance because honestly, who has time for that? Not you, not I. Pella does, though. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin also includes innovative features like shades between the glass, integrated rolled screens, and noise reduction. And all those features you customize yourself. And how about this deal they have too? Right now, 0% interest for 36 months. That's 3 years, no interest financing, but you have to hurry. This offer ends October 31st. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. And when you make your way into the showroom, find Gina Della. Tell her I said hi and that John Kuhn sent you. Visit PellaWI.com today.
told me he been on some.
Here's the snap to Jordan Love. Fires right side. Got his man leaping end zone. Touchdown. Romeo Doubs. And they embrace him in the right corner of the end zone.
Fantastic moment for Romeo Doubs yesterday, scoring not once, but twice at Lambeau Field in a 34-13 Packer victory. It's 9 to noon with John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian inside the Iron Jock Studios now through October 27th. When you buy $75 or more of Iron Jock, you'll receive 25% off the entire purchase with promo code OCT25. OCT25. OCT25.
October 25, but without the Ober, just October without the Ober.
How dumb is that? OCT 25. Listen, actually, it's probably better because I'll be honest with you, I probably would have misspelled October. So I appreciate them shortening.
How would you spell October? Would you
probably would have thrown an A in there somewhere?
October?
Yeah, probably would have thrown an A in there. Yeah, probably would have thrown an A in there. Maybe an H.
October.
Yeah, maybe an H or something like that. Plus, Iron Jock will include a 3-pack of Low Show socks for free. Make sure you have the socks in your cart, and they'll automatically be marked down for free. Go to ironjock.com for more details. That's ironjoc.com. Romeo Doubs getting in the end zone yesterday, John. Drew Olson called it as we were driving up. Now, he called 1 touchdown, didn't call 2. And the celebration for Romeo Doubs, a little subdued for some people's liking, but everybody jumping around him and huddling in after that first touchdown was a beautiful moment at Lambeau yesterday.
I just, it's all going to come down to production. Sadly, that's what it's going to be. And Drew called it. Matt called it. Apparently, Jair called 2. I mean, everybody knew Rome was going to get an opportunity at some point in time around the end zone. Everybody knew that. Why? Because we need to fix things. We need to make it better. And the Packers, hey, I'll say this. I'll say that we don't know what happened with Rome and the team yet, do we? Do we know?
Still doesn't seem like it.
And maybe it's none of our business. If it's a personal thing, it's none of our business. And you know what? I haven't really heard if it's a personal thing or not. Like there's been some hints that it could be personal, some things that it might not have been personal, some hints that it might have been personal, and then it turned into professional. And the professional is what he got in trouble for, but it only happened professionally because it was personally. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I do know is this: Romeo Doubs made a point 2 weeks ago that he wanted an opportunity, right? I mean, that's what Bill Huber's report was, and that hasn't been refuted by a single person yet. Hasn't been refuted. Romeo Doubs wanted an opportunity. Romeo Doubs got 2 of them, and he cashed them both in. That is what you will call harmony on a team right now. A guy asked for something, and he gets it. Now, people are going to say, oh, but Johnny did it the wrong way. Maybe not. Because you saw the way his teammates came up and rallied around him. If you think there's harmony there, you got to say there's harmony with the touchdowns and the approach of getting them some touches too.
I appreciate you saying that, John, about Bill Huber's report, because Bill Huber was taking a lot of smoke online this weekend, and I thought a lot of it was kind of unwarranted. People were really going at his credibility, and still nobody has refuted his report. Right now, while there might be something more on top of it, that still has not been shot down. Right, it has still not been categorically proven as false that he wanted more opportunities, wanted to look. And everybody got a look, right? Jaden Reed gets a touchdown. Romeo Doubs gets a couple. Christian Watson finds himself into the end zone. And to be able to move the ball around the offense, Tucker Kraft got a couple of touches in there as well. Like this was, John, and I think my biggest nitpick for the first couple of weeks, and we talked about it all last week, when are we going to see the Packers play a full 60-minute game? That for the offense and defense was the most complete game they've put together so far this year. And complimentary was the best part of it. And I think none better of an example of the complimentary nature than we played earlier. They get the fumble on the punt. It gets called back for a penalty. Immediately, big return, touchdown. And you're into a 24-0 game. And at that point, it felt very, very, very safe.
Yeah. Tim and the Shaw. I mean, it's obvious Romeo's going through some stuff called life. Who are we to question anything? Who are we? I'm not questioning the stuff called life. Never would I ever question that. And Tim, nobody should. But the question remains, if there's stuff called life interfering stuff called business, which it obviously did, that can't happen. That can't happen because guess what? Stuff in your life happens and teams are very, very understanding and acquiescent to life stuff.
Yes.
They always do. And the Packers at the top of the bar that get set for helping players deal through life stuff. But the Packers suspended him for something that had to do with the team, that had to do professionally. That's the question mark everybody has. What was that? If it was life that drove you to that, okay. I don't understand because you won't tell us, and we don't really need to know what the personal side is. But still, what did he do that was, remember the wording, conduct detrimental to the team? It didn't say personal matter. It said conduct detrimental to the team. What was that? Looks like it was good now. Looks like his conduct is pretty good for the team right now. His conduct on the field yesterday was fantastic.
He did. He scored touchdowns, and I'll say this: if there is issues, so be it. But the team embraced him, and he also embraced them back. He put both arms out right away to hug Jaden and Christian, I believe it was, and hold them tight. So I thought that was telling as well. It wasn't just the team around him. He put his arm around it. It's just that felt good in that moment. And he doesn't have to celebrate the way you think he should celebrate. If that's not his energy, it's never been his energy.
I do like the 920. If Dobbs would have celebrated more, the same people would have complained about him being too cocky. Crybaby's gonna cry.
Well, that's a good point.
That's a good one. Yes.
Barry Sanders never did. So
but my favorite part about this, Billy, is Rome had a problem. The Packers fixed that problem. It was fixed.
Yeah. And now it's done. And now we're going to go play football.
It should be done. My biggest fear going into yesterday, I said this before the game, Armin, you heard me say this. When they asked, does this play itself out on the field? It does if there's production. If Rome didn't get any targets yesterday and he was just out there blocking and Love threw for 4 touchdowns, not named Romeo Dobbs, I would have to think it'd hang around for another week.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to think that, but that's not going to be the case now. So we're good.
Nip it in the butt, and it's all done. And now when CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans come in town, we are full systems go at 4-2, going up against a 5-1 outfit. Otherwise, around the NFL, anybody surprised that we're not hearing any news in Dallas this morning? Anyone surprised that we're not hearing anything coming out of Jerry World? Look around the NFL, the games you might have missed yesterday as well. Before we get to our investment hour of hour number 3, it's 9 to noon with Kuhn, Billy, and Armin on the game. Hey guys, football season in full swing. Make sure you are taking full advantage on the Underdog Fantasy app. Making picks on the Underdog Fantasy app is the easiest way to invest, and it's also legal in Wisconsin to be able to do right from your couch. Over 1 million fans across 33 states last year got in the game by making picks on Underdog. You got to join them. It's simple. All you do is pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats this fall, like touchdowns, passing yards, rushing, receiving yards, what have you, and then you watch if your picks hit. And my favorite part is the stats are always refreshing. So if you miss kickoff, you're never out of the game. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple to use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Billy, BILLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Billy to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
You ready, Mace? Party people in the place to be. It's about that time for us to. Yeah, what you know about going out? Head west, red legs, TVs, all up in the headrest.
9 to noon on the game. Now, it's no one's birthday here today. A lot of times we celebrate accordingly on this radio program for birthdays. Now, John Kuhn has a lot of better things to be given away on his birthday. And we use a little trivia contest on birthdays.
I love that one. By the way, we had 2 winners of the jersey this year. They're both very appreciative.
Oh, good
Yeah,
call. Good
yeah.
drop in. Dynamite drop in, Monty. That
Yep.
broadcasting school is really paying off.
Thank you.
John, now we try to celebrate with good vibes and good energy and excitement and good radio shows with our birthdays, right? Yesterday, Dallas Cowboys were trying to celebrate a birthday. It was the 82nd birthday for Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. And on NFL Network before the London game, they showed a video of the mascot giving him a cake. There were cheerleaders there early celebrating, and they celebrated in grand fashion by giving up the most points and suffering the worst home loss for the Cowboys in 35 years. On Jerry Jones' birthday, his quote after the game, John said, "I think it was just the feeling of them having fun at our expense was the worst part of it." I think there were a lot worse parts of that one, Jerry, yesterday. Dallas Cowboys in remarkable turmoil. And John, I got to be honest, I, for one, am a little bit surprised we're not hearing any news because they go into a bye week right now.
Really? You're surprised by that?
I thought you would have heard something. And Mike Zimmer falls on the sword. Maybe a secondary coach falls on the sword.
But again, they're just 3-3, right? They're just 3-3. What are you going to do at 3? You're going to get rid of, revamp the whole thing. I mean, you've seen some things happen before. I mean, last year, offensive coordinator change in Pittsburgh. That seemed to change some stuff around. You got the offensive coordinator change in Buffalo last year to Joe Brady. That seemed to change some things around. So maybe, I guess, when I see this, see a 3-3 team that has gotten beat down its last 4 home games as bad as it did, and it sits there and does nothing, and specifically it's defense. There's a little bit on all. I tend to think that the people that look at the film and evaluate the personnel of that football team think personnel is not where it needs to be. Somehow, we went from a team really good on the offensive and defensive lines to a team that's not good on the offensive lines. We're getting pushed around all over, and I don't know how the defensive coach is supposed to coach this. I don't know how the offensive coaches are supposed to coach this and call these games, because our offensive and defensive lines have gotten to be so bad.
Sure.
That even Dak and CD and players on they can't do anything about it because it's just gotten so bad. Dallas right now, it's bad how bad their offensive and defensive lines are.
So you think the personnel people are going to be the ones to potentially fall on the sword and have to take the blame here? Because
personnel people rarely do. I
mean, because especially when the personnel department is the owner and his son.
Ding, ding,
oh
ding.
my God. I
Ding,
just
ding,
love it. John, and I've thought this for a long time. I didn't know that Dallas was going to be super successful on the field in wins and losses, especially in the playoffs, until Jerry Jones just named Stephen Jones the head coach. Make him the head coach, hire a really good offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator you trust, and he gets to make all the final decisions, and it falls right there. Because what John said is exactly right. The players on the field, they got great high-end talent. They ended up replacing a bunch of their aged-out veterans with dudes that have not played a whole lot of football before. I mean, they're playing with rookie tackles and guards and centers. They lost Tyler Biadasz in free agency to Washington. He's making a massive difference at playing center for Washington. Like, they lost a ton of pieces. But damn, John, you mentioned it. Just add some context to those last 4 home games that you mentioned, because going into last year's wild card game when the Packers beat the brakes off of the Cowboys in Jerry World, they were 8-0 at home last year.
8-0.
In their last 4 home games, starting with the NFC wildcard game, they have given up 167 points.
Oh my
in
gosh.
4 games. And yesterday it ended with a 47-9 thrashing of the Cowboys.
Oh my gosh.
Seemed a little eerily similar to a Sunday night game at Lambeau Field where the Dallas Cowboys got beat. I believe it was 45-10. And then I woke up the next day watching the highlights of you guys, John, with my dad at the Best Western in Green Bay, eating some cereal. And then that's when Wade Phillips got fired. It was like, it's like, oh, whoops, there he goes.
We used to get people fired. Like
There was
up
that
and
back-to-back
down.
week.
Yeah. We used to pull
Childress
it off
and
pretty
Phillips.
well. We used to get people fired. Now I think
You guys were like
teams are starting
Omar
to
in The
learn.
Wire.
Well, and yeah,
Omar's coming.
Omar's coming. That's what it was.
That's not
No, but it's a different. Stick with the process, coach. Stick with the process. Stick with the process, coach. Hang in there.
Yeah,
You're 3-3.
He's paying more than $4 for that cup of coffee now. Way more, especially in Texas. Come on, everything's bigger in Texas.
7 teams make it to the playoffs now. At 3-3, Cowboys are right there with everybody else.
true.
Like, can you? What are, is changing you got to look at that defensive personnel and say, is changing a defensive coordinator going to do anything? Is changing a coach going to do anything?
Well, in the defensive,
I mean, we'll find out if changing a head coach did anything in New York. We'll find out tonight.
we'll find
That
that out
offense-
very quickly tonight.
Well, and see, here's the funny part too. So they changed the head coach, and they also changed the offensive play calling duties, which the head coach was gonna do before he was fired. So
Owners
knows?
get to do what they want. It's going to be a lot of fun to be able to watch tonight, and just might be able to see that game pop up in our investment hour of 9 to noon, which comes up on the other side here. It's Coon, Billy, and Armin. It's hour 3, our best hour of the day with Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up next on 9 to noon.
She's laughing up and
Bring that back.
9 to noon on the game. That's Armin Sarian trying to get in with some Ludacris. Did you ever want to try? Was that one of your goals in life, was to be a Ludacris background singer?
I don't want to say it's a goal in life, but you know, when
Something you thought about
when
quite
you're young
often.
and you're hanging out, and this is on in the jukebox up at Buckhead's, you know, in the club, right? That whatever John, wherever he was.
That's
hanging
outstanding. So you were still throwing quarters into the jukebox to be able to spin those
it was a touch
songs. It
tune.
wasn't a touch
It
tune
was a touch-
situation.
no, it was a touch tune. By
Okay,
that
I was going to
time.
say I didn't know exactly
I
where
should have
we
said
were at.
jukebox. I guess this was a favorite though. A Saturday night at 1 a.m.
Is that what they're called? I always they're juke, like you're juking me out.
That's how it's spelled, but I never actually heard it pronounced that way.
I've
John.
always heard it said jukebox.
Same. Yep, with more of like a T sound. Especially that's where the "Prop Me Up Along the Jukebox" song, you know, "When I Die" came from.
I'd never heard that. I thought it was a jukebox, but I could be totally wrong about that.
I've
I
never
could
heard
be.
one person emphasize the.
Well, okay, Jukebox Hero. The song is spelled J-U-K-E.
Jukebox
Hero.
But do they
Yeah,
say
but it sounds more like a T.
Jukebox hero, stars in his eyes.
Well, hold on. Let me get to the
That
hook
was
here.
awesome.
That was amazing.
Can we fast forward at all?
trying.
Or do we
No,
have to
no, we're
listen
just
to the
gonna. He's just gonna
entire
make us
thing?
sit here. And
I'm trying.
let's just listen to the whole
Okay.
thing. It's our banger segment. Come on.
It's our banger segment.
Let's just
today.
waste the segment on a
Let's
song.
waste
Come
the
on.
whole thing on a song. Why not? Isn't that what most people do? We got to be getting close.
This is it.
Here it comes.
I think.
By the way, the
Now-
build-up's great. Turn it up, Herman. I definitely heard juke.
Yeah, I don't.
Listen, it's juke, baby.
I hear a little more K in there than I have
do you?
before.
I don't know.
I still
based on-
mostly am hearing T. But now that I'm
100%.
thinking about it, maybe I could make out more of a K sound in there. Oh, that's fascinating. You know who needs to do that? Miss Rachel. Songs for little ones needs to do that, and then we'll actually know exactly how that song is sang, and you know,
whether
potentially
it's
spelled and
Miss
everything.
Rachel or Kids Bop, you understand every word of those songs. The
Yes.
songs that are written for
Yes.
the kids that you can play
Well, sure.
either in the lullabies when they're in their
Mhm.
crib. Armin, have you gotten on privy to this yet?
Yeah, we're
I mean,
playing
I
different
used to
stuff
get-
for her. Yeah,
I
for
used to
Lena.
play Red Hot Chili Pepper lullabies for L. Oh,
I love that.
Lena,
Yes.
T-Pain calms Lena down. When I play a little T-Pain for her,
yeah, but
Not
is it
the
the
lullaby
T-Pain
version.
kid version? Is it the lullaby version? Is it the Kid Bop's version? Or is it
Right.
T-Pain's actual
the,
version?
He's
the,
going
real, the real
up.
version.
Down.
But there's lullaby versions of a lot of popular songs that you can find.
Yeah,
on
for
the-
sure.
So yeah, you can. We're kind of just.
iHeartRadio app's a dangerous place for those. I
Oh,
mean, like
yeah.
you want to start
Oh, yeah.
finding some channels with some beautiful lullabies streaming right there? Absolutely, iHeartRadio app.
Mhm. No doubt about it. Yeah. So it's all
Also,
a lot of fun.
Doggyland is
That
the
Snoop
one
song,
that you're
yeah.
going to enjoy when Snoop just kids bop versions and kids songs throughout it. 414-799-1973. There's always good stuff there for us to be able to enjoy. And there's a lot of stuff on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Before we get to some investments, I just got to ask a couple of these questions because we've been asking you to nitpick your problems, potentially little issues with a 34-13 win yesterday on a Victory Chicken Monday. And Josh in the 262, it's a good one, John. John, what's your opinion on the run struggles? It seems like Jacobs versus Dillon. I would like some honest input, as it doesn't seem to make sense to me as we struggle with Jacobs in versus Emmanuel Wilson apparently being in from the Josh in the 262.
I'm sorry. What is he actually asking?
He's asking. I saw this a couple of times, and people had kind of asked us in different ways on the talking text line last night during the post game, that they feel like the run game is more efficient and more effective consistently with an Emmanuel Wilson in there, maybe a little more dynamic than when Josh Jacobs is in there. Why could
Okay.
that be, or why does that feel that
One
way?
thing I'm looking at the run game right now is the run game for 2 games, the Malik Willis games. There was an emphasis. They were told that we're going to win with the run game. We're going to practice run game. We're going to grind out the run game. And this is how we're going to win these 2 football games. I don't think that is the emphasis of practice anymore. I think the emphasis of practice now, as it looks to me, as they play in these ball games are, we got run game, we got pass game, we got to do it all crisp, concise, and it doesn't feel like the run game has that attention to detail, that grind out, that push, that 1-2. It's there. It's just not to the level it was for those 2 games. And we are still seeing production. I mean, heck, they had 179 yards rushing.
Oh yeah.
But now it's getting to the point where, okay, we're running to keep them honest. then we get a lead, then we run to break them down, grind them down, and that's where the majority of our production comes in at the end of these games. And that's fine and dandy because Josh Jacobs is a tough runner. Emmanuel Wilson has a great change of pace. He's got great
Playing
burst.
real well.
He can break tackles as well. But I don't think we can judge one running back versus the other right now with the way these games are being played out in the run game. I don't think we're seeing the best Packers run blocking going on these last few games.
So, and I love that you put it out there, John, that it will start with in practice, and it does. Even though they're not on the field that much, there does seem to be a lack of a killer instinct in the run game. Now, the numbers still do look good, and it will look a little bit more lopsided in a game that you're leading by 3 scores in the second half where you're going to run the ball more. But there does seem to be unintentional consequence to it. But like you see Josh Jacobs in there, and you have a really, really good feeling he's going to get the football. But it just seems to, the creativity doesn't seem to be as vast as there was in those first couple of games.
There is something to be said. When you take 2 games and recreate your run game, think about all the different things they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing reverses with inside handoffs and pulling guards and pulling tight ends and tackles. And it was a lot of gap scheme, not a whole lot of inside-outside zone, a little bit of it, but not a whole lot. A lot of gap scheme, a lot of moving pieces, stuff behind the line of scrimmage, mixing these things up, keeping the defenses off balance. These teams have now had 2, 3, 4 weeks of advanced scouting on that, have also been able to bring that in and start preparing for that coaching staff wise and scouting. So they have 2 games where they put out unbelievable run game performances. When we talk about Indianapolis and Tennessee, the next Minnesota had 2 weeks of film to work with and create a game plan for. That the next week you talk about the Rams, they had 3 weeks of those to be able to, and they got to look at Minnesota's film and what worked so well in that game. That's what these teams are doing. And so now we need to adjust a little bit more again. Remember, why do we run so well in those 2 weeks? Because we told our guys, this is what we're going to get. This is how we're going to have to defeat it with this run game. And we're only going to win these games if we're successful in achieving these details in the run game. Now teams have adjusted and we have new details in the run game. We need to adjust again. We need to coach again. We need to put it in there that, hey, a 3-yard run on first down is generally considered a win. But if you want the offense to be dynamic, let's make it 4 or 5 yards.
Sure.
And it's just a little tweak here, a little tweak there. I mean, the production over the course of the game is still there. It just doesn't feel like the emphasis is we need to run. There will be a game where we're going to need to run because it's going to be tough for the pass. Or maybe there's not. Or maybe Jordan Love and these wide receivers play phenomenal the rest of the year, and we don't need to run. We just need to run to keep them honest. I hope that's not the case. But if it is, we'll be winning a lot of football games.
It just feels like they are effective, maybe not as imposing, intimidating in the run game. We'll say Jordan Morgan, good to see 77 out there.
Intentional.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good word too.
Right?
Yep.
I think they can be as imposing, but it's just not as intentional, right? Because we got so many other things we want to try and accomplish in a game plan now.
Well, and that's how you become more imposing is you find more consistency to it and you stick to it. You find a way to continue to power, and when you know somebody's going to run through your face, they're still going to be able to do it. Beautiful pickup on a double team by Jordan Morgan yesterday. I wanted Josh Jacobs run off to the right side. Ooh. 6 to midnight in that press box when I went and watched that play back like 15 times, just sitting there on the YouTube TV. 15-second back, 15-second back, 15-second back. John just catches him and seals him off with that left hand. Ooh, thing of beauty right there.
I know we had that question from Josh in the 262. I got to give a ton of credit. Josh Jacobs is awesome. He is running hard.
Yeah.
And these are not clean runs. These are hard, grind them out, 2-3 yard runs. He's got 1 total touchdown in 6 games because anytime they get down there, they're slinging that thing. They were on the 5-yard line yesterday on second down. Pass. I mean, give the guy a chance. He has 1 touchdown of the year. It was a 2-yard run that he ran 70 yards to get because he had to break everything outside. I mean, he is hard grinding it. And after the game, he's all smiles. Look at him come in the locker room. He is happier than a clam to be in Green Bay and score 1 touchdown, be a part of a team that's winning. It's really cool to watch. I hope he gets the playoff captain this year.
Yes,
Nice.
he deserves it. I'm so glad you mentioned that, John, because one of my friends texted me. He goes, look at how happy Josh Jacobs is to win games, even not scoring, just not being a Raider.
Thank you. Just to be a Packer. People underestimate
Smile's
it.
awesome.
Players around the league think, I don't want to go play that weather. People don't understand what it's like to come to a place with minimal distractions. Green Bay least distractions out of any
That's for
Right,
sure.
city to live in the league. Maximum intel and stuff given to the players, talking about treatment, film, classrooms, everything, right? So you got the minimal distractions, the most given to the players, and just a really cool fan base like Tim and the Shaw here that'll just support you unequivocally no matter what. I mean, it's a really great place.
Yeah.
Plus, you win more than you lose here. So Josh Jacobs having a ball, and guess what? Now we have a guy. We have a guy that's going to grind out 3 tough yards for us on any single play, and he's going to be happy doing it.
And he's catching balls now too. I mean, I love that.
Awesome.
The way they're working these guys out of the
Mhm.
backfield, it's beautiful. All these screen passes, mixing it up. I just love the threat. Yeah, so no doubt about it.
And he continue to get better in pass pro. He's going to be out
Yep.
there for a lot more downs. That's for sure. All right.
Just don't
414.
fumble it. That's all I'm saying. Just keep the ball in your hands.
That's what we wanted. We wanted nitpicking. So we get all that excitement. We get all that positivity. Just dash it just a little bit. Just keep yourself close, right?
Stay humble.
Stay humble. And as the barrister said, hey, little nitpick right here, Billy. Don't talk over Schneidman's Dua Lipa intro. Better preparation with your read, please. Hey, barrister, we appreciate it. We got to keep ourselves we got to hold ourselves accountable if we're going to hold other people accountable. And I need to be held accountable. Didn't ask for a caller for You Better You Bet. So caller number 4 right now at 414-799-1973. Armin's already was going to play the music.
Gonna pause the
We're
music.
going to pause the music because we're going to get caller number 4 in here on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, 414-799-1973 for week number 7 in You Better You Bet. And John, we're not above critiques. That's the part here. And this is what really good coaching can do, where to our point back in hour number 1, I used it a lot last week. Hey, coach's dream. Game that you win, but there's a lot of correctable errors. You pointed it out, a Bill Belichick win where you blow somebody out and then still come in and tear everybody down for the smallest little mistakes. That's the game that the coach is really salivating for. That's the one they really want to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, because a coach loves nothing more than being able to flip the script. You feel really bad about
Feel
a
really
loss.
good about something.
You feel really bad about a loss. They come in and they're like, guys, look at how close we were. This is how close we were. We clean up these last couple details. Man, this was a good game.
That's awesome.
We just messed up on 3 or 4 opportunities to take it from them. And if you come in there feeling high on the horse, they will just knock you down. They will just knock you down. Guys, what are we doing here? We're not going to win big time games like this. They're going to say specifically 100 times today in their meetings, we're not going to beat Houston with this. No,
Can't do this.
We're not going to do this against Houston next week and be able and hope to win a football game. It isn't going to happen. That team's much better than the team we just played. We got to get this fixed.
I love that. You got to, hey, it's all about fine tuning. It's all about critiquing small little ones. We got to find best ways to be able to do that. And listen, we correct on the fly and then we hit one out of the park right now with You Better You Bet. Thanks to Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse, and Potawatomi Sports Bar. You better bet this man needed something good to happen to him today.
Good point.
You know this young man needed something good to happen to him today, John, because today on the line, participating in You Better You Bet,
I got a feeling.
Milwaukee's premier steakhouse. Nope. That would have been a good one.
Would have been a good one.
Drew and Greenfield definitely could have used a good one here today. Well, it wasn't all bad for Brent and Franklin yesterday as they beat the absolute brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. However, a tough loss in that victory of Aiden Hutchinson. Broken tibia and fibula was repaired last night in Irving, Texas. All things point to a solid recovery, and now Brenton Franklin plays You Better You Bet, courtesy of Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse for over 15 years. Best steaks in Milwaukee, this side of the Mississippi, and frankly, across the country. Because if you want international Wagyu cuts of steak, they got it. You want domestic, you say, I want American beef.
They got that.
They got that one too. And John, They got the most extensive wine and spirits menu that you are going to find.
3,000.
Oh!
That's a lot of numbers.
Somebody thought it was 300. Add a zero. Omar said, hold my Cabernet.
Oh,
I did say hold my Cabernet.
That was
'cause he has
good.
his own Cabernet. Oh, yeah.
Damn right, it's his own
Carnivore-
Cabernet.
Carnivore Cabernet. Gin gimlets.
Yeah, plenty of those.
Espresso
Plenty.
martinis.
Plenty.
A really special old fashioned.
Dang. Ouch. My hand's hurting just for you.
Dude, well, and that last one
Are you
was
okay?
that last one was bad. I kind of missed it and kind of got a little paper cut. So hey, listen, that's all well that ends well. All's fair. You got to power through this stuff.
Whatever you need, they've got it.
Buster's. I was at Dave and Buster's. Got a bunch of tickets to take the kids in there.
Yes.
You know, when the kids are playing games, I like to sit down and play that quarter machine, see how many cards I
Oh,
can
yeah.
collect. In the
Game's
quarter.
so fun.
Yeah. Went in there. I had a whole set of 9. That's a 3,000 ticket bonus. And then, a bunch of extra tickets that I could try. Ooh, I had so many tickets. All Elle wanted was a damn bell. She wanted one
What?
of those bells. I thought, well, this is simple. That's only 100 tickets. Yeah, I'm going to have some to take home and keep for next time. Lily got something. We left there, and I didn't realize I made the biggest mistake ever. That bell.
Yeah.
That bell drives me nuts at home.
Mm-hmm.
Drives me insane.
And little did you know, John, all she had to do was come into the studio because I would have given her a bell.
We got plenty of
Spencer
bells.
actually reminded me of that. And I cannot wait for our Make-A-Wish telethon that comes up,
Right.
Wishathon that comes up in December. That was when I first gave the bell away 2 years ago.
That's right.
And Zabin came in the next morning and goes, where's my bell? I said, oh, sorry. We gave it to a nice Wish kid.
Did
I
he
apologize.
understand it's not his bell?
You tell him that. I had
Well,
fun telling him
It's
that.
kind of, well,
I
yeah.
had fun telling him that. We got into a good, robust discussion that day. Just like the discussion we're going to get into right now with Brenton Franklin, who is playing You Better You Bet with Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse, and Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's where we get the lines. That's where Brent and Franklin is investing with for week 7. And Brent, your first pick is going to be what for next week?
I'm going with the Falcons -3.
Taking the Atlanta Falcons -3. Those dirty, dirty birds coming up next week at home against the Seahawks, laying 2.5 right now, John, at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So Brent's getting himself a little bit better number right there than he had even thought that he was going to get.
That's sneakily a big game in the NFC next week. That
Yeah.
one's going to be. We're going to start having, as Wayne Larrivee reminded me this past weekend, 62% of the NFL
That's
was
right.
bottled up at 3-2 or 2-3 this past week. And here we go. We got a 4-2 versus a 3-3. There's going to be a lot of these games for the next, call it, month. This October into November, I would say this is going to be called the Great Separator. 'Cause
Ooh,
this is now
okay.
going to separate that 60% from
Yes.
contenders and pretenders.
So this would be like moving day at a golf tournament on Saturday, right? You got a bunch of people that made the cut. Now we're gonna have to move you around. All right, we're gonna have to figure out who's starting this thing up and who's in the final
think about
group.
it. Well, think about it right now. You got Seahawks, Falcons. You got Packers, Texans.
Mm.
You got Lions, Vikings.
Oh, my.
I mean, just there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole, but you got Chiefs, 49ers.
Oh, that's
I
a
mean,
good one.
You got Ravens, Buccaneers.
Oh, it'll be a great week.
I can't
There's
wait.
a lot, and it's going to be like that for the next month. We're going to have just multiple matchups that are going to, really separate some things.
Every game matters
Good
in this
games.
league. That's why we love it, because games matter. Regular season games matter.
Yeah, and we also like investing on these games because it's really, really fun at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brent, what's your next pick?
Well, you were talking Chiefs 49ers, and anytime you can give me the Chiefs with some points, I'm going to take the Chiefs +1.5 at the Niners.
Taking the 1.5 at the San Francisco 49ers. John, indications right now, Kyle Shanahan said we're still a week away at least for Christian McCaffrey. Looks like November. Jordan Mason a little dinged up after their Thursday night game. Interesting as the Chiefs head on out to the 49ers.
Yeah, the Chiefs coming off a bye. The 49ers coming off a long week. The 49ers are at home. The Chiefs didn't get any healthier. I don't know if the 49ers got much healthier. Both teams beaten up by injuries in the season. I think what it is the point spread makers, the Vegas people, they look at this and they say, we're not quite sure.
Yeah, this will bounce around.
We're not quite sure on Kansas City yet. We know they got that guy Mahomes, and we know we have that really good defense, but man, they would have lost against the Ravens if it wasn't for a toenail. The Bengals, they probably should have lost that game, got themselves a call. The Falcons got themselves another call. The Chargers, they survived by scoring a fourth quarter touchdown. And the Saints, No, they took care of the Saints, but the Saints have been taking care of themselves the last couple of weeks. So we're not quite sure how we feel about this Kansas City Chiefs team that doesn't have a whole lot of weapons because Pacheco's down, Hollywood Brown's down, and Rashee Rice is
out.
They lost a lot. That's a lot of firepower for Patrick Mahomes.
Devontae Adams sure would fit in pretty well there. It sure would make some sense if that would be exactly where he goes. This one will bounce around. I bet this one goes to 1.5 in favor of the Chiefs at some point, back down to the Niners because they want to get Armin. They want that teaser action.
Oh, yeah.
They want that teaser
By
action on
points.
both teams. They want to get that 7.5 to both sides. Brent, what's your next pick?
I'm going to go with the other birds on the East Coast. The Eagles -3.5.
-3.5. Philadelphia goes to the New York Football Giants, who had a lot of opportunities to get a win last night. John, I don't think there will be a lot of fire Nick chants going on at MetLife Stadium, but I'll tell you, if Nick Sirianni heard one, he would yell at it after the game. They lay 3.5 on the road.
He's a goofball. He's an absolute
the most
goofball.
unlikable coach, I think, maybe in sports.
Maybe ever.
Maybe ever, yes.
Of all time?
Armin, think of more
He's in that
unlikable coach.
conversation.
I can't.
Tell me an unlikable
I
coach.
guarantee. Give me time to
Ed
put a list
Cooley?
together.
Oh, you got to think before you talk again. This is a record twice in the same day.
Well, it's just a lot to think of. Ed Cooley's got to be up there. This is
More than
hard.
Sirianni, more than banging his own chest at his own home fans. Could you imagine?
No.
the
No.
repulsion that would happen if a Packers coach did that?
Oh, man, this job would be fun. This
Matt
job would be
LaFleur
fun
was
the next
booed
day.
last year multiple times. Did he do anything of the sort?
No, I know it. He didn't. He did the fire up the crowd thing. That's
Come on,
about it.
as you think of an unlikable coach, let's get back to
Yeah, let's get back to Brent and Franklin because there's a lot of them on that list, but Nick Sirianni's probably going to headline it. Brent, what's your fourth pick?
I'm going to take the Saints -1.5.
Taking the Saints coming up this weekend or this week, Thursday night at home against the Denver Broncos. John, I know you love him. I know you love Sean Payton. I can never forgive him for costing me potentially the greatest backdoor push of all time yesterday, where the Denver Broncos +3 down 23-0. Kick a field goal down 23-13 with a minute to go from the 15-yard line on first down
it's
with
wild.
a minute plus to go. Oh, you're not going to get the outside. Just go score a touchdown. Go get the confidence for your young man. Go get it, Bo Nix.
It's all about that onside.
Oh!
That's a bummer, but that's the right move. That's the
Oh!
right move. You need time and downs,
So
and you
bad.
need the time more than anything.
I almost punched a hole through that beautiful Packer Radio Network studio. I'm glad I didn't because I might not have been welcome
You
back.
knew what was coming too, didn't you?
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. And then I was so glad that it bit Dayball in the hiney last night because he did the same thing. Go score a touchdown. Sorry, Broncos +1 as he's taking the Saints, John. Short week at home. Seems like a nice play.
I don't know. The Saints, after starting the season so hot, their defense is beaten up and their defense can't stop anybody. I mean, anybody. And the one thing Sean Payton is pretty good at doing is watching film of teams.
Oh, and he's
going to watch a film of what the Buccaneers did.
With the
and he's gonna
lights
try and
off.
mirror that, especially what happened on the ground.
With the lights off, he's watching film. He's old school, baby.
No,
the old school
not the
coaches,
lights off.
you watch
No
film
lights off.
with
No,
the
we
lights
care
off.
about- we care about our eyes these days. We're not watching film with our eyes off.
Not trying to have some cataract surgery in here after.
He's gonna have glasses on though, and then someone's
the
gonna
blue
walk,
light
Then
glasses.
someone's gonna walk in and he's gonna stop the projector and take the glasses off and make them look like, what are you bothering me for? You gotta watch film with the lights off like the old guys used to do.
Like John Gruden is in that
Yeah.
very, very poorly lit studio that he's doing those videos in.
So poorly lit, but there's that little ring.
Just
ring
one
light.
ring camera. Ah! He's a strange cat.
All right, last
pick. Brent
We gotta-
Franklin,
we gotta
where are you
get
going?
these in.
I understand.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
All right. My last pick, and I don't usually do this, but as the Lions make the push to get Max Crosby in to replace Aiden Hutchinson, I'm going to lock the Lions in at +2 this week, and
I
they're
like
going to
that.
rise for Aiden.
They are +1.5 right now at Potawatomi
Yeah,
Sportsbook, so
yeah.
many people might be leaning in with what
I
you
love
sounded
this
about.
pick.
If the Lions get Max Crosby after losing Aiden Hutchinson, there will be some sort of NFL revolt.
I'm going to throw up.
People are going to lose their ever-loving minds, especially teams in the NFC North. There's no way. They're going to have to give up 2 firsts to get Max Crosby, right?
Probably.
2
Would you?
firsts. I probably would give up 2 firsts for Max Crosby.
I probably would too. Right? Like, and because John, it's a tough question to answer.
Very few guys in the league would I do that for. Max Crosby, TJ Watt. But I'd stop at 2 firsts. I wouldn't get crazy and do 2 firsts and a third or something like that. I don't want to give up 2 firsts, but for a Max Crosby, for a TJ Watt, I think if I had a team like the Lions that I believe can win a championship, if I had a team like the Packers,
yes, that's what we're talking about.
You spend all your money, you might as well spend it all and get Devontae. Give them all the picks. Devontae.
No, we're okay there. We want Max Crosby. I want Max Crosby. I'm okay. I appreciate Devontae. We've seen him in green and gold. Let's get that 98. Let's get the Condor here in green and gold. All right, Brent, great work. Lock it in the Lions. Find out next week on Tuesday how you do in week 7, all right?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brent in Franklin. He cheers up with that, and we cheer you up with a can't miss. Actually, we'd like to call it a lock right here on this one.
The man can't miss. Time now for Coons Can't Miss, presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold.
Oh, yeah, green and gold series tonight down at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. Make your way down there, get yourself a coon dog. Eat that thing the whole way through the Match Nyman show and the green and gold showcase there with the Mon Green. It'll be AG down there with Matt Schneiden, and then tomorrow 9 to noon will be there. 9 to noon will be there.
Let's go.
Carry the cheese, carry the G radio.
Carry the G radio will be there as well. Yeah,
or carry the cheese.
I'm down if they got cheese.
Carry the cheese, carry the G radio. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. It's the place. It's the place to take in the game and to take in anything on 97.3 the game, because that's where we live. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. All right, got to get this one in quick. Play it over the weekend. Ohio State. Ryan Day just took James Franklin's crown.
Yeah, he did.
He just took the crown right off of James Franklin. The coach, the least rising up for a big game coach ever crowned was James Franklin. Ryan Day said, "Here, let me
hold my beer.
Let me crown myself like I'm LeBron. I'm going to crown myself with the not showingest up coach that's ever not showed up." Ryan Day has 1 million wins as a coach now. I think he's something like 65-4. All 4 of the losses were big games.
And the only losses in the regular season are to Michigan and Oregon.
Yeah. The guy can't win a game against comparable opponents. Penn State usually can't win games against anybody that's almost as good as they are. They did that against USC. USC gaggled that thing up. A lot of amazing stuff happening in college football, especially in that Oregon game where they may or may not have rused the rules in college football. Maybe more on that here in a moment. But my pick tonight, Armin, Buffalo Bills -1 against the Jets. The Jets played in London, as we know, lost their coach, changed their signal caller. I don't know if that's going to matter all that much, because ultimately we know the signal caller is Aaron Rodgers. And does Aaron Rodgers have enough talent around him to make it go down? Garrett Wilson and him still haven't locked in on that on that situation of being able to see eye to eye like he and Devontae did. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills -1 in the game for the lead in the AFC East.
Yes, indeed. The one that I predicted the Jets to win earlier this year, and I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. I mean, the Bears are making their run.
Now you're already quitting?
-1 at 112, basically a pick 'em. You can get the money line at 118 there at Potawatomi Sportsbook. John, I kind of like that pick because even a guy like me is betting on the Bills tonight, no doubt about it. So
really,
yeah, I mean, the vibes are not good right now in the New York Jets, buildings. I would have to say it just doesn't seem like it is. So I think it's a bounce back for the Bills.
One
tonight.
Jets drive, not a copacetic spot right now.
Right.
If you're thinking, maybe former Badger scores, Braylon Allen +230 on an anytime touchdown. That might be a good one for you to jump in as well. That's John Kuhn. I'm Billy Schmid. Armin Sarian's right there. We're late for a break. We'll get to some more of your coaching points for the Pack after a 34-13 win. We're running through the tape on a Victory Chicken Monday. It's 9 to noon on the game. 9 to noon on the game. 414-799-1973 is the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Now, we did ask for the most unlikable coach in sports after Nick Sirianni's statement, John. I'm getting a couple here. Now, Mark and Eagle did say Sean Payton. Goofy Miami coach with the goofy eyes.
Who was that?
Worst coach.
Mike McDaniel?
Gase.
Oh,
Right?
Adam Gase.
Right?
Okay.
I think it's Adam
guess.
Gase. He also coached the Jets.
But he also wasn't all that unlikable.
Are we sure it's not Mike?
bad?
Are we sure it's not Mike
I
McDaniel,
don't
who is goofy?
But not
And now that he looks like a Colombian drug lord with the way he dresses
Could
and
be
how
the one with
tan he
the
is
eyes.
and with his hair slicked back, he could have goofy eyes.
That's fair. He could be the
And
one
he
with the
does
eyes.
drink a lot of those Pablo Escobars, those quadruple Americanos, right?
But he's not
He used to be drinking a
unlikable.
lot of other stuff.
That's my problem. I don't think
Some people not big fans of him.
Wow, really? I think he's
Yeah, I
funny.
think some people don't
I
really
don't know
like
if you
him.
like Napoleon Dynamite. Along those lines, right?
How about this
funny.
one? Joe from Pewaukee.
I'm sorry. Can I just say
Oh,
something?
go ahead.
Mike McDaniel is going to have to be the absolute man behind closed doors, the absolute man, because I don't know how you garner respect from your team unless you have to be so likable behind closed doors and almost acquiesce to them every chance you get for a team of football players to adhere to you the way that they do. Because he's just goofy.
He is
He's
a goofy
just odd.
cat. Yeah, no doubt
I
about
think
it.
he's authentic, though. I think that's what people like about him. Actually, I don't know if they like him. I really have no idea. It seems like his
Listen,
team likes
seems like
does.
people like him.
Armin, I love you. You're authentic. I don't want you leading my football team. No offense.
Well, no, I get that.
No offense.
But I don't know football like maybe Mike McDaniel does. Maybe they believe in his ability to.
You
knowledge of
definitely don't
football.
know football like Mike McDaniel.
Well, no, I don't.
I can answer that. Yeah, Billy, you're right. He does. You don't.
Yeah.
Okay, we
And-
get it. I'm not a football
knowing
coach.
Yes, but even still, even just knowing football, you have to be able to inspire and entrust and everything like that for the players. I just don't know if I would be able to with the guy who's dancing around with these goofy dances on the field.
John, 20 years ago, he wouldn't have gotten a sniff for a head coaching job.
No.
Right? Like
Sure.
It was all about bravado.
It's definitely something different in today's day and age. That being said, I'm kind of with you. There has to be some secret sauce to what he's got cooking up for it to not fall upon deaf ears at some particular point in time.
But it's also
At some point.
It's also a younger man's game now, the coaching game, and he acts like a more of a youthful guy. You know, he's not the old like Jack Pardee kind of like Bum Phillips kind of guy. He's that young, goofy. I can be on Instagram with you, which is what these guys care about.
He's
now.
also got pelts on the wall. He's also been around, all right? I mean, it's also a dude that has almost lost his entire NFL coaching career by himself. So like there's some, real stuff to him there as well. I just like a couple of these other ones. Matt Patricia. Again, I don't know if Matt Patricia was all that unlikable. He just stunk.
I didn't like him, but I didn't like him because the one media comment he made about the media
Was sit up straight.
Don't comment at the media, bro, like that.
He was
Okay?
kind of right. You can respect the process a little bit.
It's just
This
funny.
isn't your living room. You can sit up straight and ask a question. Jim Harbaugh. Now I will tell whoever that is that sent that in 608. Those are fighting words. Jim Harbaugh, likable. My man had a irregular heartbeat yesterday. John said, "Take me into the medical tent." All right, I'm good to go. Let's go. Give me the play sheet
Jeez,
back. Give me that
wow.
challenge flag back. And then dominates a football game. Wins. Football guy right there, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. We're not just picking people that we don't like here. We're talking about most unsavory coach
Correct.
of all time.
Yes.
After Nick Sirianni walks up to his own crowd after a game, banging his chest, saying, "I can't hear you now." I mean, we saw him do it in Indianapolis. Now he's doing it here.
Uh-huh.
It's
He's the worst.
just goof. It's not even goofy. It's lame. And then he brings his kids to the post-game press conference
That's
to
it.
try and as a decoy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
here's my shield, my 3-year-old kid.
But I'm still going to drop a couple of curse words up here because that's still what I'm going to do. The Philadelphia Inquirer, the Philadelphia newspapers had some outstanding columns on Nick Sirianni. Fantastic stuff to be able to get into. 414-799-1973. Lumberjack Pete might have one with Brian Kelly. Good one. But again, Nick Sirianni, I think still might take the cake. This is 9 to Noon with John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Siren. We'll round third, head for home, hand it off to the Mike Heller Show coming up with our quick trip takes of the day on the other side, right here on the game.
Ba-da-dum-dum-dum.
9 to noon on the game. 414-799-1973 is the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, and we scour that for the best take of the day. However, didn't have to go very far for maybe the best one of the day. The Quick Trip takeaway of the day brought to you by Quick Trip. Need something for dinner tonight? Don't cook. Stop by your local Quick Trip. Pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal. You might even find there at your local Quick Trip.
Chicken Alfredo, potatoes, salad. He likes to stick to what he knows.
What I know is maybe the best deal in town, and maybe making me feel like the oldest 30-year-old alive right now, John Armin, is the Quick Trip coffee refill. Bring in there, big old coffee cup.
Yeah.
I love going in there. $1.25
for any size cup. Any size cup.
There's tiers to it. There's tiers to it.
There's levels to this stuff.
Oh, there's levels to this stuff. Like they go all the way up to, John, you can fill up 100 ounces of coffee. I mean, they got it all the way up there on the banner. They know people are coming in there with a bunch of different size thermoses.
100 ounces.
100 ounces.
That's okay. Oh, I guess maybe for the job site. Everybody
Correct.
needs coffee.
Because there are people that work, Armin, with multiple people outside.
Well, I know that.
An actual blue-collar jobs
labor.
where they need some caffeine, where they need
to
it
wake
not
up
to
a little
stand behind a board. They don't need to wake up to stand behind a board. They need to wake up to climb a ladder to get on a roof and carry shingles up there. That's what they need to do.
And they can't make a fresh pot after lunch because guess what? They don't have time. They don't have electricity out at the site.
They don't have pots.
They don't have pots. Thank you.
I get it. I'm just saying. I know that. I hang out with those guys at Quick Try. I see those guys.
Sure.
They're always there, and every morning getting their stuff ready to go and stuff like that. You know, I can relate to that a little bit, and I'm not just standing behind.
You're making fun of their ounces. What next? You're going to make fun of their clothes?
I'm not making fun of anybody. I just couldn't believe 100 ounces.
You did make a schneid comment about all the neon green that you see at Quick Trip in the morning.
When did I say that?
Like a Schneidman comment.
When did I say anything about neon green? What? A Schneid comment. I like that.
That was
no
good.
More
that
Schneid.
was good.
We're
right
saying
there.
Schneid, not Schneid.
Oh, man. Make sure you check out Matt Schneidman tonight with a couple of Schneid comments with Amon Green or Amon Green, whenever he ends up maybe asking him later on here tonight. Is that as offensive as Matt Schneidman thought it was around the room here quickly before I read our favorite text of the day? Asking Amon Green how he would pronounce his name for Matt Schneidman?
I think I do it before we start.
We got to do it before the show.
Hey,
I think I would do it before the show.
The simplest thing is just call him AG.
See, now that is a good one. That is a good one. Now, would AG at some point potentially, John, drop a Bernstein on him and say, "You don't know me like that"? That would be awesome.
No, I don't think so. I don't think people realize how nice of a dude Amon Green really is.
Amen. Amen. I introduced Amon Green at the Wisconsin Sports Hall of Fame deal. One of the easiest interviews of all time. He had that thing dialed in, and he has an amazing, amazing football story. Matt Schneidman's going to do just fine here tonight. You're going to be able to listen to that coming up at 6, the Green and Gold Legend Series at Potawatomi Sportsbook. And the take of the day brought to you by Quick Trip. How about JJ? We're trying to find the most unlikable coach in all of sports, John Kuhn. Go to a Little League game with your kid, and you'll find a 10-way tie for the most hateable coach.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You probably will. You probably will. And I might be one of those coaches. That's the problem.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Oh, U9 Soccer might find one as well. But listen, even though we might not be likable on the field, it's because we're competitors. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to be competitive again because there's some competition. And we're dominating that competition from 9 to noon. He's John Kuhn. I'm Billy Schmid. That's Armin Sari. And we'll hand it off to the Mike Heller Show on the other side. And we'll try to be better coming up tomorrow on a Tuesday because the club will go up. And we will be right here at 9. We expect perfect attendance from all of you Nooners as well right here on the game.